The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard.
From Bob Peoples Stadium on the campus of Caravel Academy, welcome to our free live stream. As tonight, we feature a Class 2A matchup between the top-ranked Caravel Buccaneers on a 15-game winning streak and the 6th-ranked Laurel Bulldogs. Good evening, everybody. I'm Glenn Frazier alongside Nick Alessandrini, back in town after a 3-week hiatus. Glad to have him back. And Nick, we're looking forward to seeing two of the top running backs in this class. Of course, the visiting Tate Walls, who does everything for Coach Joey Jones and the Laurel Bulldogs, and then Josh Roy, who's done nothing but average 300 rushing yards per game in the 2 games and score 7 touchdowns. Welcome in, Nick.
Yeah, Glenn, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's an honor and a privilege to be back here with you for this Classic 2A matchup, to join Mike, Pat, and Nick Halliday to get the whole crew back together. So I'm thrilled to be back, and what a matchup to come back to, right? This Classic 2A battle. We talked about Caravel the last 3 years, maybe the best defense we've seen over that period of time, an undefeated state championship, 1 loss the year before. And then you look at the Bulldogs from Laurel, Joey Jones, and that team that went back-to-back and then able to move up a class now and compete with teams like Caravel. So it's going to be a fantastic matchup. You mentioned Josh Roy and his statistics, 4 touchdowns in that game last week, so he was phenomenal, and it's going to be a battle as he, of course, going to go up against Tate Walls on the other side. And you mentioned that Week 0 game accounted for all 37 points. I thought I had read that wrong. Yeah. I almost didn't believe it, but it's unbelievable. A Travis Hunter-esque player, right, from Colorado that can do it on both sides of the ball. So both of those guys are going to be players to watch and key in on tonight. They're going to receive a lot of touches for their respective teams.
If you like old-style smash-mouth football, that's what we have for you in this matchup here tonight. Hard-hitting defenses, both teams that predominantly run the football. I'll be shocked if we see either quarterback put it in the air more than 10 times in this game tonight. 36-3. That's head coach Reed's Caravel Buccaneers in the last 3 seasons, plus the few games here in 2024. And then how about the Laurel Bulldogs? Their record, 24-2 in 1A in 2 years, and they won both of the first 2 year state titles. They're 32-8 overall since 2021. Let's take a look at our players to watch, and we're going to start with the Laurel Bulldogs. You already mentioned Tate Walls. He's one of our players to watch, the senior running back with 5 rushing touchdowns, an 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That against Sussex Central, by the way. He's had 2 pick sixes. He's kicked a field goal, and he kicks extra points. And as we already mentioned, he just does it all. And he's one of our players to watch. Now, he didn't play at all last year, Nick. He had a meniscus issue and missed the entire season. The year before that, he did play, and he scored a touchdown in the championship game against St. Elizabeth's.
And that makes it that much harder, right, at least mentally, when you go through that year off, not on the field, and maybe out of physical shape a little bit. And that just shows you, how prepared he was coming into the season, putting that work in the offseason. And after a year, it's tough to get suited up like that and to perform this early in the season, maybe a few games to get going. Not for him. He was going right on from Week 0. And again, you talk about Laurel, even when they were back in that Class 1A, they were always playing tougher teams that were a class or even 2 classes above them. So they're used to it. And, of course, it's going to be a battle tonight with these two.
All right, one of the other players to watch for Laurel is their inside linebacker, who is also starting as offensive tackle tonight. We just found out before the game. Joseph Baynard. He's the leading tackler on the team with 29 tackles, and you might know this. The last 2 years, he's 2-time Henlopen Conference Wrestling champ at the 285 weight class.
And there you go, and it's such a transition, right? They go hand in hand, the sport of football and the sport of wrestling. When you talk to football coaches, they love guys that can show that agility and, of course, agileness there on the wrestling mat. And it shows right there with Baynard, and you talked about him being the leading tackler, but now getting the start up front in the trenches offensively. We'll see if that, affects him at all defensively now, him going both ways today.
And the other player to watch for Laurel, their quarterback, Kobe Shockley. Now, there's been a Shockley quarterbacking at Laurel for the last 6 years. He's a southpaw.
I almost thought I read that wrong too,
Yeah,
Glenn.
yeah.
I was like, did the NIL and the COVID come back to high school? You get some extra years in high school now.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of pressure on him, Nick. You know, his brothers have kind of led the way. One of them won a couple of state titles. He has good size and strength, and he wants to throw the ball, but we'll have to see. Head coach Joey Jones likes to run the football, although head coach Joey Jones was a quarterback at Salisbury State University. So we're going to keep an eye on our southpaw quarterback tonight.
And as a quarterback, you know, being a coach, you always want to put the ball in the air. You know, that was always going to be a part of what you want to bring to the table, even as a coach if you were a former quarterback. But this Caravel defense, and we talked about it just moments ago, one of the best, if not the best, out of all three classes here the last 3 years. So, again, you come in with one game plan. You may have to alter it depending on how this Caravel defense adjusts. And it's going to be a tough battle. We'll see if they get that run game going. Would go a long way to get that going early, but against Caravel, that is a tough thing to ask.
And like a good color analyst, Nick leads me right into our players to watch for the Caravel Buccaneers, and it all starts with their senior linebacker, who also plays fullback, Brock Rhodes. I don't know there's anybody that hits harder than he does. And
again, as a linebacker, a Sam backer myself, you got to love what Brock Rhodes has done. Seems like he's been making an impact out there for years now, even since he was a young guy here at Caravel. He's been a phenomenal player. We did the preview weeks ago, Glenn, and he was one of the players that you highlighted in Class 2A was his effectiveness here on both sides of the ball for Caravel. Had a rushing touchdown, I believe it was last week in that game, and of course, one of the best tacklers and sideline-to-sideline linebackers you're going to find in the state.
One of the other players to watch as we stay on the defensive side of the ball is senior defensive back Josiah Crawford, who had 2 picks last week. He is fast, and they're going to need him to come up, step up, and try to stop Tate Walls. Tate Walls has track speed. So if anybody's going to stop him in the open field, it's probably going to be Crawford.
Yeah, he's going to have to play that rover right today, get a good vision on where he's going to go and come up and make the tackle, because you playing down the back end of that defense, you may be the last line, you know, of defense for that back end of the defense capability there. So he's going to have to make sure tackles here, take the right angles, because you can't give up any extra space, because if so, it could be taken for 6 by Walls and some of those other talented backs.
And we've already talked about him quite a bit, but the other player to watch for the Caravel Buccaneers, their junior running back, Josh Roy, who, as we said, has only gained 600 yards on the ground in 2 games and scored a total of 7 touchdowns. We had him a couple of weeks ago here on our free live stream, Nick, and let me tell you, the offensive line is fantastic. They have talent coming back. They open up a little gap for him somewhere. He hesitates. He's patient. He waits for the gap to open. He doesn't run right up to the line and try to hit the line too quick. He lets the blocking develop, and then once he's in the secondary, look out.
It reminds you a little bit of number 26 in the black and yellow back in the day, Le'Veon Bell, right, allowing those holes to develop, and then once you see them shoot that through. 4 touchdowns last week, 3 back in week 1, 7 total, as you mentioned a few moments ago. But that's what's so complete about this Caravel team is they have an identity. They want to run the football and play defense, and they'll hit you with play action every now and then. But that's what they've been the last 3 years. It resulted in 2 undefeated regular seasons and a state championship. That's still their identity today. They've got the correct players to do both of those things on both sides of the ball, and that's why they're one of the best.
These 2 teams have met just 5 times since 2007. Laurel won the first 2 meetings, both in the postseason, and they were close games. Caravel has won the last 3, including last year's win by a score of 21-3. And if I'm not mistaken, Laurel held them to one of their lowest offensive outputs of the season with that 21 points. Laurel unable to get the offense going. So again, keys to the game, 2 good defensive teams. It's going to be on the offense who can have success against the other D.
And we'll see maybe of which team can break off one of those big plays, whether that be a big run, or a big, pass and catch that results in a touchdown. Something along those lines, because 2 very stout defenses. We'll see who's able to strike first. If it's Caravel, again, that's going to be tougher for Laurel to come back on a team like Caravel. But if Laurel can get the ball and maybe go down the field and score first, going to make things easier on the Bulldogs tonight.
Our other live stream tonight is taking place down at Woodside, Delaware. Benny Mitchell and the Downstate crew has a good 1A matchup as 2 top 5 teams get it on. The Polytech Panthers, the home team, and the Indian River Indians, loaded with talent coming back last year from a 1A semifinal appearance and a loss to eventual state champ Tatnall. We got some early scores for you. Some games already started this afternoon. A final as Archmere has knocked off Newark by a final of 43-13 in that one. Tatnall and Glasgow. Tatnall has the lead in the 4th quarter, 24-12. and an early score down in Seaford. Seaford leading First State Military by a point, 7-6. And over in Maryland, Athelton, Maryland, hosting the Middletown Cavaliers. Cavaliers up early by a score of 14-0. Laurel's marching band is out on the field. You probably can hear them in the background. Caravel's football team has made their way into the end zone to our left to begin their warm-ups. We're awaiting the Laurel Bulldogs. It looks like they're about ready to come out of the locker room as well. We will be back with the starting lineups for tonight's game and the opening kickoff right after this on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the Raw Bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Soto Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Soto Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Soto Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors.
We're back here at Bob Peoples Stadium. Great night for a game. Nice breeze, keeping the temps down a little bit. We're going to have this game played in the low 70s. The captains for both teams out at the center of the field for the opening flip of the coin, get introduced to each other, and the head referee, the white hat. Nick, let's run down the starting lineup for the offense of the Laurel Bulldogs. They'll have that triple option offense with Walls, Laughlin, and Niblett in the backfield, Shockley the quarterback. Wideouts are track star Khalid Burton and Jaden Cannon Thompson. Center, Khalib Rickards. The guards, Corday Rodriguez and Caden Shore. And the tackles, Joseph Baynard and Narayan Singh. And now the starting D for Caravel.
Caravel Clan going to be running that 4-4. It's going to be J.J. Yates up front there on the edge, followed by Dwight Williams and Jonas Smith inside at the D tackle. James Steele on the other opposite edge for Caravel up front. The four backers, Justin Dredska, J.D. Devane, Brock Rhodes, and Richie Massey. And then the three guys you'll see there on the back end, Josiah Crawford, who we mentioned 2 interceptions last week, Tyson Witcher, and then Amir Myers rounding out the back end of that Caravel defense.
All right, and then the Caravel offense, led by quarterback Matt Rice, the sophomore, Brock Rhodes, the fullback, and Josh Roy, the feature tailback. Wideouts are I.J. Yates and Tyson Witcher. Center is Chase Armstrong. The guards, Charles Brittingham and Dwight Williams. The tackles, Isaac Choka and Jonas Smith, who is starting in place of Tuck. Tuck has a slight ankle injury, and the tight end, James Steele. And now for the Laurel Bulldogs defense.
Keyshawn Copes up front along Narayan Singh, Corday Rodriguez, and Kamani Roberts. Another four-backer set here for Laurel defensively. Elijah Niblett, Joseph Baynard, who we highlighted in our players to watch, Asante Laughlin, and Tate Walls as well highlighted in the pregame. Kenyon Littleton, Khalid Burton, and Shakai Parker, your three on the back end in the secondary for the Bulldogs.
All right, once again, Joey Jones, the head coach of the Laurel Bulldogs. I think he's been there since 2019, right before the pandemic. And again, he led this team to the initial first two 1A state championships. They moved up to Class 2A last year, And they're starting out fine this year, already with a win over a 3A program as they knocked off Cesar Rodney last week 14-0, and they hung with Sussex Central. It was 20-20 going into the fourth quarter. Sussex Central ended up winning that one 41-20, and in between that, the 37-0 shutout over Brandywine. Head coach John Reed has been here for a while, led Caravel to 2 state championships, and they got off to a 31-6 start over Hodson and a 34-0 win at Howard.
Yeah, again, those games, going back and looking at it, to see Laurel be tied again with Sussex Central, powerhouse in Class 3A, 20-20 late in that third quarter. That shows you what kind of talent and what kind of team that we're going to see here on the road tonight. And, of course, everyone knows about Caravel, the defending undefeated state champions. A lot of those guys are back. Yeah. A lot of new faces we're seeing also this year, but they're the best in defending state champs for a reason. Buckle up. It's going to be fun here from Bear.
We certainly hope, and we are going to step aside right now for the playing of our national anthem.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Caravel Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Caravel Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Caravel Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Caravel Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Caravel Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Stadium, the whole crew here tonight. Down on the field, Ben Fulton with still photography, Nick Halliday with our sideline camera, Mike Lang producing up top along with my buddy Pat Gariantes. And my other buddy is the color analyst tonight, Nick Alessandrini. I'm Glenn Fraser. We hope you enjoy this free live stream. We're about ready to go. The Laurel Bulldogs will receive the opening kickoff. So that means that Nick Massey, the sophomore, should be out to kick. I don't know, sometimes Coach Reed, he'll use a different player kickoffs than he does on the point after
like
attempt.
The Eagles now, right?
Yeah.
I think Jake Elliott normally does the kickoffs. Yeah. I think maybe he's got to that point in his career where he's like, I got the Super Bowl and I'm getting older. Maybe I'll just take these kickoffs off with the new formation.
Well, the stands about 75% full on the home side of Caravel. The Laurel contingency have turned out and made the long trip up here. Looking pretty good on the visitor side. Now, understand, I talked to him earlier today, athletic director at Laurel, Kevin Walmsley. He's going to tune in and watch our live stream tonight. So, Kevin, hope you enjoy it. and thanks for the information.
That's right. That's why we're here, right, to bring those people that aren't able to make this long trip up north to be able to catch their team in action. That's why we're here, and it's about that time, Glenn. Friday Night Lights.
Here we go. Massey with a kickoff. Short kick, end over end. Fair catch called for right at the 29-yard line by one of the upbacks, and that's where the Buccaneers will start. Once again, quarterback Kobe Shockley, Tate Walls, number 1, Elijah Niblett, number 2, and Asante Laughlin, number 3, in the backfield.
And now let's see what Laurel decides to open up with here, right? Going against this tough Caravel defense. You see Brock Rose there on your screen, and number 33 defensively. And again, Nick Halliday taking you inside that Laurel huddle. I'm telling you, what a great start here and a beautiful night for football.
It sure is. Wide out split to opposite sides of the field. It's a double wing set for the Bulldogs. It's a pitch out. And it looked like back to pass. He is. Throws the long ball as Walls. His receiver comes back to it and can't make the catch. A little trickery right off the bat.
And that was a heck of a job there by Burton. You mentioned the track star, Khalid Burton. Well, he had that secondary beat. He had about 10 yards. He got behind the defense. He did what the game plan was on that play. But the pressure from Caravel off the edge and that push up front from that defensive line did not allow enough time to step up and make that throw on time. Still able to get it off, which was impressive, and still almost resulted in a catch. Good defense, though, to bat it down. But the play was open. It was there, as you see Jones and Laurel taking a shot there on first down.
Yeah, I couldn't see which defender got initial pressure on the edge, but that had caused Walls to step back, and it delayed the pass. This time a little wing T reverse, crossing the 30 out to about the 34-yard line.
And there you have it, a little counter back the other way. We're going to see a lot of that tonight from Laurel, and you're going to see a lot of this, too. Number 33, Brock Rhodes, coming up, making his first tackle of what I assume will be many here tonight at home.
So Walls on the carry, and he picked up about 3. Oh, no, they're actually going to mark him only for a 2-yard pickup. So 3rd down and 8 for the Bulldogs early.
And we saw him throw it on first down. Let's see what they can do here on 3rd and long.
So they've tried the edges so far, trying to spread that defense a little bit, maybe try to open up something in the interior. Motion back to pass, the southpaw. Pressure's on him, he steps out of the pocket, and he goes down.
Yeah, you see Shockley tried to step up there. That pocket collapsed very quickly, and you see the pressure being brought there by Chikora, number 52, able to get the pressure, but Shockley just didn't get really deep enough on that 3-step drop. It was a shallow 3-step drop, and that allowed the pressure to get there maybe a little bit quicker than it would have, but that pressure was coming regardless, and they're able to force a punt. That Caravel defense, a 3-and-out for the Bulldogs.
So that sends Walls back to punt. He does everything. Hits a low punt, end over end. It will be fielded at the 35-yard line. And a hard hit across the 45 and out to about the 48-yard line. And on the return for Caravel was Richard Massey.
So pretty good field position here now for the Caravel offense. The defense does its job there on the first drive of the ball game, and now starting just on the other side of the 50. This is where you want to be for that Caravel offense. Of course, trying to take the lead and then let your defense do the work. That's what they're built on, and let's see what they go to here on their first drive of the ball game.
We kind of thought coming into this one it would be a defensive game, so to keep the scoring down. And it followed suit with a quick 3-and-out for Laurel on their opening drive. Now, great field position for Caravel, just shy of their 49-yard line. I formation, second back. That's Roy. He crashes into Bulldog territory. He's going to gain about 3 to the 48.
And we're seeing it early. Caravel coming out first play of the game, double tight end set, stacking that line of scrimmage. They're going to go with the run game and able to pick up a few. And Laurel with a great job with that push up front there on first down.
Hey, let's see who we'll have to try to pick up for you who the other tight end is in the ball game. As the play from the sideline given to quarterback Matt Rice. They break from the huddle. The wide out, number 6, is Witcher. Hand off again to Roy, tries to get the outside, makes a nice cut and has a first down close to the 40-yard line.
A nice job there by Roy. He's going to be the guy that we're going to be keyed on here offensively for Caravel. A nice jump cut to get to the outside, shows that agility and that speed he has, and just getting enough for a new set of downs for that Caravel offense. Laurel going to be ready for a heavy dose of number 23, Josh Roy, tonight.
Yeah, good kick-out block by one of the guards and the tackle on that right side. That's probably Jonas Smith. and Dwight Williams leading the way. But I like the cutback ability of Roy.
Great field vision as well.
At the 41, just enough for the first down. This time quarterback Rice in the gun. Turns, hands it off to Roy again, and he meets a white wall at the 40-yard line. He'll gain 1.
Yeah, another great push up front here by the Laurel Bulldogs. And I believe that was Baynard playing up near that line of scrimmage from linebacker, able to get in there, find that hole, and wrap up and make the tackle.
He's the leading tackler on this Laurel team. 29 stops coming into this game, so averaging almost 10 a game. Good numbers for him.
And they're going to need him in a game like this. A team that loves to pound the football with a great defense, he's going to have to play very well to keep that defense in this game today.
This time we have the wideout stacked on the left side, top of your screen. Trying to set up the screen in the middle of the field. Now he completed it to number 6, Witcher, and when he turned to run, it just came loose.
And that was going to go for 6. I mean, it looked like it was a broken play early on. There was a miscommunication on the cadence. The snap came a little bit early. Everyone kind of got into the play a little bit late, and because of that, Laurel was a little bit thrown off defensively, allowed Witcher to get out there in the flat area wide open. If he makes that catch, Glenn, that's going for 61 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he had teammates in front of him. It looked like the way Rice was backpedaling, he was going to set up a little screen. Instead, he did throw it to the wideout, who had a couple of other players in front of him to block, but incomplete. So 3rd down and 9.
The same formation here again.
Yep. 2-step drop this time. Goes out the near flat, and what do they teach you defensively? Linemen, get those hands up. And it happened. So 3 and out for Caravel.
And how about that? And that's exactly what you need if you're a Laurel Bulldog. You get 3 and out offensively, and you come back and you stop Caravel as well. Caravel, one of the best teams that we talked about, and able to stop them on their first drive of the game is going to go well for that confidence of Laurel. That time, Keyshawn Copes able to get to the edge there, put those paws up, and knock that one down. A big play defensively.
I digress. That was 5 and out. They did get a first down.
That's right.
So the quarterback, Rice, is back to punt, standing on his side of midfield. And back deep is Mr. Everything for Laurel, Tate Walls. There's the punt, end over end, high, sends Walls back inside the 10 at about the 8. He started up the middle of the field, trying to get the edge, nothing there, but burgundy uniforms, and he will go down for about a 5-yard return.
So the battle of field position there early. Caravel stopping Laurel deep in their own territory. They have good field position offensively. Laurel able to hold them. And now Caravel backing up Laurel deep into their own territory. So we'll see if the Laurel offense can put together a few first downs here, get a drive going, and see if they can change that field position, because this Caravel defense, they could be smelling blood this deep in their opponent's territory.
When I was mentioning our crew in the beginning, I neglected to name our camera operator. Video upstairs here with us, and that's Christopher Widener. Second time we've had him, both times here at Caravel.
I've been impressed with the process going on here.
Man in motion, fake to him. They give it up the middle on the dive play. Stop for maybe a gain of a yard. That's it.
Yeah, good other again. That defensive line and linebacking core from Caravel in that 4-4. They know what Laurel likes to do. They're going to want to try to make Shockley and Laurel put the ball in the air, load up that box, and stop Walls in that run game. And they're off to a good start so far. 3 and out on that opening drive, and then minimal yardage there on first down here.
Yeah, 2-yard pickup for Asante Laughlin. So 2nd down and 8. Quarterback Shockley came over to the sidelines to get the play. Now they break the huddle. Wide out split down to the bottom is Cannon Thompson. And in motion again, it's a pitch out. They try a sweep, and Caravel's right there in the backfield. It'll lose yardage to the 10.
Again, great outside contain coming out there on that right side. Again, it was number 11 for Caravel who was able to get upfield and set the edge. That's what you want to do in situations like that. And Laurel not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage without, getting some contact there. So Caravel's defense is flying all over the place here to start this game. And this time another 3rd and long. You're looking at around 3rd and 13 now for this Laurel offense.
Yeah, that was a loss of about 5 yards. So they'll start back behind the chains now with 6:35 and counting to go in this opening quarter.
And again, Glenn, we think back to that first play of the game. They tried to set it up, a pitch pass to start. It was wide open. If they catch that and take it for a touchdown, it would change things up. But now 3rd and long here.
Shockley, double wing set. Rolls near side to pass, hit in the backfield, and he'll go down. He's sacked inside the 5-yard line.
Another great pressure here from Caravel, this time number 52, just getting up the field as we look down at the rosters in front of us.
That's Chukwara.
And Chukwara, who we talked about earlier this time. I mean, before I even could decipher the play and what was happening, Chukwara had him wrapped up and took him to the ground. So the recognition there from this Caravel defense, you could tell they watched film this week because they are reacting exactly what they need to be doing here defensively to start this game.
Walls punts from his end zone. Hits a nice spiraling punt. There will be no return at all.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Into the wind.
Wow.
And will roll all the way down to the 37-yard line. He booted that from in his end zone. Tate Walls, who does it all for the Laurel Bulldogs, and boy, he really helped there with field position.
I know it probably won't be the first time I use this reference the rest of the way, or the last time I should say, is again Travis Hunter type game. Travis Hunter, not the punter for Colorado, but does everything else offensively, defensively. Tate Walls taking it a step further, offense, defense, and special teams, both in the return game and as the kicker. I mean, that's truly incredible. You're going to have to go back sometime and find somebody else that was effective in all aspects of the game. Now you brought that up pre-game, and
yeah.
Not only was he doing similar things, also bringing home a state championship for Friends as well, ending that drought a few years ago.
All right, here we go. Caravel second time they have the football. 5:42 to go in the opening quarter. Tight end comes in motion and resets. I formation. Fakes it to the fullback, gives it to Josh Roy, who came right out of a pile and got good yardage. He's about a yard shy of a first.
And there again, we see 21 personnel, 2 running backs and a tight end that Glenn mentioned moved from left to right, almost creating a trips here to the bottom of the formation. They had the 2 receivers and the tight end for 3 pass catchers down here. They lose a little bit of motion to get that run game going. Again, all you need is a little bit of motion to see what that defense is up to and what that defense is doing. They come back with the handoff the other way, and Josh Roy picking up some yardage there in second and short.
At the Caravel 46-yard line, as Nick just mentioned, second down at about a yard. 2 wideouts to the top, 1 to the bottom. Now Steele comes in motion. He gets the football at the midfield, 45-40, down the sideline and bumped out near the 30-yard line. Nice carry.
James Steele used in a Brock Bowers role there, as Georgia used to run that jet sweep across that formation. It was the same exact thing. They used Steele, the big tight end, to come straight behind the quarterback in motion, a quick jet sweep handoff, and he does the rest. How about that? James Steele showing off the speed and athleticism. There is a ball carrier, not a blocker or pass catcher.
19-yard pickup for him, and they have run him in motion before, and then he'll reset as the tight end on the line. That time he did not. He got the pitch out and picks up a big chunk of yardage. Tyson Witcher split to the top of your screen. Again, I formation. Pitch out to Roy, made one man miss in the backfield, cuts again. Penalty flag flies as he is tackled near the 20 of the Laurel Bulldogs.
Again, that was Burton saving a touchdown, and this time Caravel offensively let the edge free. Brock Rhodes able to push him out as he came across on the toss. Double tight ends, as we do have a flag on the field in the secondary coming in late. So we'll await that call. But Josh Roy again showing off the vision. A great play selection there from Caravel to get him the ball on the toss in open field. And he makes some pay. We'll await the call now to see what's going on down there.
Yeah, they're talking to Tate Walls from Laurel, one of their team captains. I'm going to assume where that flag was thrown, it was a downfield hold.
Yeah, it must have been again, because like you mentioned, that came long on the back end. And there it is.
And indeed, it is a holding penalty. So they bring it back to the line of scrimmage and step it off from there. No, it's a spot foul.
So I'll push him
So
back.
they brack it up to the 30. Replay the down, so it's first down and 8.
I believe our first penalty of the night, Glenn.
You are correct.
And hopefully the last.
Knock on wood.
Always
we have
want to
some
play
up
a
here.
clean game, right? So here we go. Caravel once again double tight here, Glenn.
Yep. Wide out split to the bottom of your screen. Back to pass. The quarterback throws the long ball. Man has a secondary beat. A diving catch is made in the end zone by Tyson Witcher.
We talked about it in the pregame. They want to pound the football, and then every now and then they're going to try to take the top off with a play action. We saw it with Truman Huerta and that team last year. The identity has remained the same, and they go back to it here again. A couple times pounding the football. Roy picks up a nice amount on the yardage before the penalty there, and then this time they go for their first play action fake of the game. And Glenn, what a ball by Matt Rice. A beautiful ball because he had some pressure coming to him, was able to get rid of it and put it in a perfect spot for his receiver Witcher to go get.
Massey on to kick the extra point, and it's blocked. So the score will remain 6-0 in favor of Caravel. 4:15 to go in the opening quarter. We'll step aside, be back in 30 seconds.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
Back here at Bob Peoples Stadium as Caravel scores on a 30-yard touchdown strike from quarterback Matt Rice to Tyson Witcher. As we mentioned, he had a defender right on his hip, so it had to be a perfectly placed ball, and it was. And Rice just hit him right in stride for the diving catch.
And the play action gave you enough separation. All you needed, Witcher did, was just a little bit, and that's all he got. And a beautiful ball leads to the touchdown. Again, all in the play action here from Caravel. They'll set it up with the run and then hit you with the pass.
Here's the kickoff. It's mishandled down around the 25-yard line, but alertly picked up by the Bulldogs and picked up by number 11, Khalid Burton, and that's where the Bulldogs will have it. Third time they've had the ball, and they've had very little success.
Yeah, and not only that, now, Glenn, we were talking before we came back from the break. Now that Caravel's up a touchdown, things even get a little bit harder. It was already hard to begin with, 2 straight 3-and-outs for that Laurel offense. But now Caravel's got the lead, and Laurel going to have to try to get back into this thing now as opposed to just trying to control the clock and get the run game going. We'll see what they do here, though very early, though, still, Glenn.
All right, here we go with the Bulldogs. Again, double wing set, 2 wide outs to the top and bottom of your screen. In motion and getting the football is number 2, Niblett, his first official carry of the game. And again, a minimal gain, maybe a yard or 2. Got a couple of score updates for you. Early on in our other game, Polytech with a 7-0 lead at home over Indian River. That's our other game of the night. And Lake Forest with an early 8-0 lead over Cape Henlopen.
It's a talented team. And that time, again, it was Brock Rhodes on yet another tackle. And that, again, picking up only 2 or 3 yards might have been the best game for the Laurel offense here so far.
Yeah, they haven't had much luck running the football as of yet, and that's what they like to do. Motion back is Walls. He goes back in the other direction. Hit in the backfield up around the neck, and Niblett will go down for a loss.
And once again, this time it was Dwight Williams on the interior of that defensive line. These running backs and skill position guys for the Bulldogs are getting hit before they can even get back to the line of scrimmage. If you're the Bulldogs, something has to change up front in your protection, and we'll see what happens here going forward. But the offensive line has to step up and give those running backs at least a chance to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you're talking about that front for Caravel. I.J. Yates, Dwight Williams, Jonas Smith, James Steele, Chuck Wara's been in there as well. Yeah. And you're right, they're in the backfield. 3rd down and 11 for Laurel. 2 receivers, top and bottom of your screen. Quarterback Shockley is in the gun. Now he's going to take off with it on a quarterback draw. Tried to get outside, and he is pounded before he could get to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I believe coming up was J.D. Devane coming up and making the tackle. And we talked about how good the defense is for Caravel, but it seems like we're saying a new name defensively on every play, and that's how deep they are on that side of the ball. And once again, a tough 3-and-out coming up here for Laurel. They spread it out for the first time all game. They go double slot with a running back next to Shockley. And again, it looked like there would be some running room there out of the quarterback draw, but close this up so quickly. This defense, once again, showing us how good they are early.
Rice back to punt. Walls back to punt. Good punt again, but taken on a hop at the 37-yard line. Makes one man miss. Another one tried to pull him down by the shirt tail, and they finally get him. But good field position for Caravel at the Bulldog 41.
And I want to give a shout out on that play right there to Amir Myers, number 10, who did a fantastic job of avoiding the block in the back. He was still able to slide in front of the defender, not hit him, and create that space to allow the punt returner to pick up that yardage and get into Laurel territory, but avoided the flag. I'm not sure if you go back and watch that. It was a savvy play by Amir Myers, and now Caravel right back with good field position in Laurel territory.
Yeah, they haven't had field position really in the entire football game. But here we go, just under 2 minutes left in this opening quarter. 6-0, the Buccaneers on top. Wide out split to the top and bottom of your screen, this time double wing. Hand off to Roy again, off left tackle. He got inside the 40 to the 39. He'll pick up about 2.
And you see Caravel, that's, their methodology. They're going to slow out of the huddle, slow to the line of scrimmage. They're going to be a lot of seconds in between snaps. You don't see that depending on what team you're looking for here in high school. But once again, they keep things compact. They tighten it up. And this time it's a power with motion to the left side of that line of scrimmage with that extra blocker with the flanker going in motion and leading the way.
Speaking of the blocking, how about the offensive line for Caravel? They're very good. Armstrong at center. The guards are Brittingham and Williams. The tackles are Smith and Choka. They're doing a fantastic job, along with the tight end Steele.
Yeah, again, both sides of that Caravel offense and defensive line, that's where it all starts.
High formation again. Oh, and a hard cadence, I believe, drew Laurel offsides. Let's see what the call is. Yep, offsides.
And there you go. And that's, as a quarterback, the cadence can be your weapon, right? You got to be able to use it like that. And they've been running almost the same count all game. And this time, Coach or maybe even Matt Rice saying, you know what, let's change it up a little bit here. We picked up short yardage on first down, and what now was second and long becomes second and very manageable and almost second and short after the offside.
Costly penalty for Laurel because, again, as you said, they had him in second and long. Now it's second and manageable, 4 yards.
That's a big penalty.
Again, I formation. Witcher in motion. Give it to Roy. Follows blocking up the middle inside the 30 to the 29. And that will be enough, I believe. Yeah, they're going to move the chains.
And picking up about...
Thought we had another flag, but no.
Picking up about 3 or 4, Glenn, like we just talked about. And if that was a second down play, Caravel would now be third and medium. And instead, because of the penalty, it's a new set of downs and a first down for Caravel, who continue to push this thing deeper into Laurel territory. They're just doing what they do, Glenn. That's keep it tight and pound the football until they get stopped. And they haven't been stopped, at least here yet on this drive.
That's their MO as we are winding down this first quarter. 15 seconds and counting. Caravel inside the Bulldog 30-yard line. I formation, Witcher in motion. It's Witcher on the end around. Has a blocker in front of him at the 20, 15, and out of bounds, shy of the Bulldog 10-yard line at the end of the first quarter of play. Nick, what do you think of the first quarter?
Well, we got almost not what we anticipated, but we're seeing out of both teams what we thought we would. Caravel pounding the football, playing strong defense. They're up 7-0 and now getting ready to go back in. Laurel had them on their toes with that pitch pass to start the game. If that pass is completed, it goes for an 80-yard touchdown and maybe a little bit of momentum shift. But Caravel was able to bat that down, pressure on the running back that was throwing it, and that Caravel defense has run the show. That's been the storyline here in the first line. Laurel can't get anything going offensively. Caravel with an early lead. We'll see if they can ride that out.
All right, second quarter action coming up right after this on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts.
It's Caravel Academy 6, Laurel nothing at the end of one quarter. Caravel on the move again. They have 1st and 10 at the Laurel 12-yard line. Got another score update for you. Woodbridge with an early 6-0 lead over Howard in the first half.
And we saw Witcher go in short motion on the last handoff to Roy. He picked up some yards. This time, they bring him in the same motion but keep him across the field and hand it to him. So Caravel very methodical in their offense here so far, and it's working out well.
Steal in motion. Brock Rhodes, the blocking back, the fullback in this I set. Give us to Roy, following Rhodes on the right side. Shifty runners in the end zone for the touchdown. See what I mean about him reading the blocks?
It was perfect, and what a block by Brock Rhodes. He was on the kick out there at the fullback position. They let that defensive end go free. Brock Rhodes able to kick him out, and right off the butt, that's what they teach you as a running back, and a perfect move there by Roy. Looking a little bit like Maurice Jones-Drew, the way he's able to shift and make those jump cuts. It's almost seamless, and he does it perfectly there, takes it for 6. And I have a feeling it might not be the last time he gets into the end zone tonight.
Don't you love it? My color analyst is name dropping big time here. Another block on the point after attempt will lead the score at 12-0. So a bright spot for Laurel, but that's about the only thing that Caravel hasn't done well.
Yeah, I mean, and that with that defense, I know we talked about it, but Laurel has to find a way to get some type of rhythm offensively, even if you keep that defense off the field a little bit and just put together a drive where you get the ball into Caravel territory. You need something to build that confidence, show Caravel that you're here to play a little bit, and that can be tough to do with a team, of course, that we mentioned, undefeated state champs and maybe the best defense in the state. So we'll see what Joey Jones and this Laurel offense can come up with. It might not have to be some stuff that they worked on in practice because the first 2 drives were 3 and outs. Going to have to maybe figure something out unorthodox here to see if they can get some points on the board or put a little bit of pressure on Caravel.
After this game here tonight for Laurel, they'll have a bye week, and then they get right into their district schedule, beginning with Woodbridge on October 3rd. Caravel Academy, they will play again next week, and it'll be a big one on the 28th as they will be playing at Archmere Academy.
Archmere's having themselves a great start to their year, so that is a big one for sure coming up.
All right, ready to go with the Caravel kickoff. It's Nick Massey.
Number 16, Nicholas Massey.
Last time Massey just hit a short kick that was a fair catch made by Laurel at the 30. And he's going to do it again. They do not want to kick it deep to Walls. This time no fair catch. Ball caught at the 33, up across the 35. And Laurel will operate from its own 38-yard line.
And you might be sitting at home thinking, hey, that's semi-good field position for Laurel. But you said it, the danger of Tate Wallace returning one is greater than what they think that offense can do against their defense. They will throw that defense out on the field no matter where they are and expect them to hold the opposing offense. Tate Wallace, though, in a kick return scenario, you never know. He might just break one. Yeah. So a smart play by Coach Reed and the Caravel Buccaneers. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, obviously they did some film study, and they looked at Walls and said he's dangerous in the open field, but they have kept him under wraps and not let him get his ahead of steam going. Wide out split to the top and bottom of your screen. Double wing set. Wing back in motion to the near side. It's a quarterback keeper right up the middle. Crossing the 40 to the 41 is Shockley.
Yeah, looked like a design keeper, I think, from where we're standing. I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication, but looked like just inside veer. Shockley able to pull it and try to just find a hole behind the center or something up the middle, and he did pick up about 3 or 4 yards, so that might have been the biggest gain so far today for Laurel.
Yeah, 3-yard pickup to the 41, so 2nd and 7 coming up in this triple option offense. You got to give a lot of credit to Caravel, though. That interior part of the defensive line, that's Jonas Smith, Dwight Williams, the D tackles, and then Chuck Wara and Brock Rhodes, the linebackers, filling the gaps, not letting anybody get through.
That 4-4, I mean, all 8 of those guys in that box have been fantastic for the last couple years now for the Bucs.
Shockley throws near flat, sets up a pass, and now breaking a tackle, and then losing the football right to Caravel. Brock Rhodes has it.
Pulled it right out of his arms. And that's what, again, you teach that. You rip at the ball as a defender. That's one of the things that he ripped at it and just took it straight from him. Brock Rhodes, one of our players to watch at the beginning of the game. But Laurel, again, switching it up, right? They keep it tight there, and this time they're going to throw the rocket screen out wide. It was there. It was one-on-one. They had the receiver who made the man miss. It picked up a first down and extra yardage, just lost the football. Again, it was the track star Burton. All they wanted to do was get the ball in his hands and let him go and get that yards after the catch. It was a well-called play.
Yeah.
It would have worked. But unfortunately for Laurel, Burton coughed off the football. A heck of a play by Brock Rhodes. And again, just another aspect of this Caravel defense. So hard to advance the ball and score on these guys.
Yeah. It looked like for a moment, okay, here's a big hitter. They're going to gain a lot of yards with Burton running the football. And it just looked like he was trying to switch arms. and the ball got around to his back, and Brock Rhodes was right there.
Yeah, we had a good view at that one.
Yeah. Rolling far side is Rice. Good block in the backfield. Throws out in the flat, completes it to Rhodes, and he is into Laurel territory. Looks like down about the 48.
I mean, you said it in real time. That play is because of that block from Josh Roy in the backfield. It was such a good block and pass protection there that the defensive lineman up front, I believe it was Caden Shore or Baynard, one of the two, got hit him and was so frustrated that they got blocked, just grabbed him and threw him to the ground. A little words exchange after that. But Josh Roy doing his job, a heck of a block, and it's those type of unsung plays that win you football games. And we saw Brock Rhodes with the block on the touchdown earlier. That was a phenomenal job by Roy. He creates time for Rice, who was able to find a guy downfield.
Unselfish play out there, that's for sure, for Caravel. On the move early in the second quarter, and they're up 12-0. Now the tight end, Steele, will shift from the right to the left side of the line. Rice waits for him, gets set, turns and gives it to Roy, bounces it to the outside, just shoots right through a gap and has good yardage all the way down to the 32-yard line.
And now that was created there up front by that Caravel offensive line. I believe it was Jonah Smith, the junior, who got out and made the block down the field.
Yeah.
But this offensive line for Caravel is there getting those initial pushes up front, and then they're finding guys at the next level. And as an offensive line, that's what you want to do, and that's huge for the run game, and I believe a timeout here on the field.
Yeah, you do. And Jonah Smith was a late starter inserted by Coach Reed. He told me tonight, he said, Xavion Tuck has a slight ankle injury. We just want to rest him for an extra week, and we'll probably get him back next week. We'll just see how he's doing. But what does that tell you about plugging in other players?
Yeah.
And look what Jonah Smith has done.
And you're absolutely right as Laurel calls the timeout, but it's been on both sides. You mentioned the defensive front from Caravel, and they're doing it on both sides of the ball. That push from the defense isn't even allow Laurel to get back to that line of scrimmage in most instances there offensively. And then contrary to the other side, that offensive line is just blowing up the defensive line for Laurel, and these guys are able to find holes. Josh Roy, even James Steele on the end around there that we saw earlier, and they're picking up some big-time rushes. So Caravel is right where they want to be, a 12-point lead with the football, driving once again. And when you have a defense like that, I know we said it ad nauseum, they are in the driver's seat, and things for Laurel, especially after the turnover, just not going that well for the Bulldogs here early on.
There's a lot of talk from people around the state that Caravel could compete in the 3A class.
I don't disagree.
I think they could. All right, timeout is over. 9:48 to go in the half. 1st and 10 at the Laurel 32. It's play action. Back to pass. Man, wide open, and he overthrew him in the back of the end zone. Nobody with a white shirt within 20 yards.
Yeah, he had him. He had his guy for sure there deep. He was looking for Witcher again, who has been, in a way, their Trey Hamlin of what we saw in previous years. He's been taking over that role at wide receiver, kind of running the same routes and doing the same thing offensively. And once again, they pound, and then when you're least ready or least expected, they'll hit you with that play action. That's what they do. We saw it for the touchdown earlier, and they would have had another touchdown here. A perfect play action by Matt Rice, who gets on the move out of the pocket, and just a little too much juice, too much air on that one. And sometimes as a quarterback, when you see a guy that wide open, those are the hardest throws to make. And unfortunately, that time couldn't find him in stride, and Laurel able to catch a breather there.
Brings up 2nd down and 10. Steele again will shift from left to right and set. Give us to Roy. Big hole on the right side. He's down at the 20 and close to the 15-yard line before he's thrown back. On the tackle was number 8 for the Laurel Bulldogs, and that is Jaden Cannon Thompson.
I mean, his acceleration, once he's able to get the ball in his hands as you see him there, I mean, it's just fun to watch. This is my first time able to catch him live this season. And as soon as he has the ball in his hands, he has that vision you mentioned, that Le'Veon Bell-esque vision. And again, that acceleration, he's able to go from 1 to 15 miles an hour in the blink of an eye. And you're seeing there that shiftiness. And once again, I feel like Caravel could pound Roy every play, but just to switch it up a little bit, they'll run some other plays.
They did that pretty much against Hodson when we had them the opening week. Steele in motion. He gets the football on the sweep. Trying to get the edge. Oh, he eludes a defender at the 15, and he'll get down fighting for yardage close to the 10-yard line on a 1st and goal.
And how about that? Once again, they're going to run it here with Yates, who is in the same exact position that we saw stealing earlier. They bring him in that Brock Bowers motion on the speed sweep. They get it to him. And how about the move on the outside? He's able to stop on a dime and cut it back inside and get some yardage, Glenn, because initially Laurel blew it up, but there's some laundry down on the field.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was I.J. Yates. I saw the 4 and knew it was double digits, thought it was steal.
One of those double tight ends.
Yeah.
And that hold's going to bring him back.
I think the first penalty of the game against Caravel. Only 2 against Laurel so far.
Yeah, I believe 2 holds, and that's about it so far. But you could see that Laurel defense, they were ready for that in a way that they had seen it before. So they saw it earlier with Steele. They were still ready for it, and Yates still able to make a few guys miss and pick up yards, but, of course, negated all due to the flag.
Yeah. They back him up to the 24-yard line of the Bulldogs. 8:30 and counting to go in the half. Laurel trying to keep this a 2-score game.
And again, the game with Roy off tackle in this formation here has been very successful. Let's see if they go back to it.
Witcher in motion, give right up the middle of the fullback. Brock Rhodes powers ahead for a couple of yards.
So this time going to Rhodes on the inside handoff. I believe his first carry out of that position today, able to pick up a few, but good job by Laurel once again up front.
He got 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And this is a situation where so far in the game, Laurel's defense has kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
They'll get a good stop on 1st down, but then a costly 5-yard penalty, or they'll give up something on the play action, and then all of a sudden they're in trouble.
It's been a little bit of the miscues here early on, Glenn. I think you're right. I mean, you talked about the penalties, the stripped ball, the pressure there on that first jump pass.
Rice rolls to the far side, looks to pass, throws it downfield, makes the completion at the 15, and tackled almost immediately, and that's Yates on the reception.
Yeah, going back to Yates, a nice job by Matt Rice to get him. This one was thrown cross body, but you never like to do that as a quarterback, but he had the space there out on the right side of the field. I do not believe there's a flag. Nope, no flag, so that will stand. But once again, we're seeing the play action out of Caravel. Maybe a miscommunication as you had 2 receivers bunched up over there in the same area, but Rice did a good job of getting the ball right to where it needed to be.
That's an 8-yard pickup with 7 minutes to go in the half. So it brings up 3rd down and 8.
And then Caravel controlling possession the majority so far here of this 2nd quarter. And time of possession, one of their specialties here with the Buccaneer offense.
Steele goes in motion. They fake the pitch out. It's a counter play to Yates, and Yates will be tackled just inside the 10 at about the 9-yard line.
That was a heck of a job, a fantastic play call, but an even better play defensively up front by number 40 on Laurel, Jameer Matthews. Able to read that counter the wrong way. The whole defense flowed right with the toss, and he was right there waiting for the counter back the other direction. Again, in most cases, I thought that might have went for a touchdown, but he stayed home on that defensive line and able to make the tackle.
All right, 4th down and 4. 3rd down. What? Oh, no, field goal attempt. Kick is up, and the kick is no good. I think it missed wide left.
Yeah.
So again, maybe the only weak spot for Caravel tonight's been the kicking game, and that's been a strong point for them coming into the ball.
Yeah, again, I'm a little bit surprised, and like you said, that's been it. You talked about the miscues for Laurel. The only miscues for the Buccaneers so far, and they have a 12-0 lead, has been those kicks. 2 extra points blocked, as you mentioned earlier, and now a missed field goal. So coming in, and we talked about it pregame, and of course just me going through the notes for the game, Massey making the field goal last week, having been, as you mentioned, a strong point of this Caravel team here, special teams, but not getting it going here, at least to start in the first half. We'll see if Massey has a few more opportunities the rest of the way. But now Laurel got a little bit of momentum here down just 2 possessions.
Yep. They've got to try to find a way to get something going offensively. And you mentioned it. I like that last play call that, unfortunately for them, resulted in a turnover on a heady play by Brock Rhodes. They have some speed on this team, but they've got to get them in the open field where they can make a play. Under center, Shockley. Little counter play up the middle. Boy, that hole just sealed up in a hurry. Looked like Yates on the tackle.
I'm telling you, the defensive push that the Buccaneers are getting up front, they're blowing these plays up at the line of scrimmage. They have no chance of really doing anything with the way that this battle in the trenches has gone so far in the favor of Caravel.
And we've got a couple of new things for you this season. We hope you like it. We have a field camera giving you some better, tighter looks down on the field, and that's Nick Halliday down there. And we also have something new this year. Premier Physical Therapy has been sponsoring our Player of the Week, and with your voting this past week, it's a volleyball player from Tower Hill, Sydney Fisher, our Premier Physical Therapy Player of the Week.
Congrats, Sydney.
Up. Tate Walls this time gets in the open. That's the biggest play of the night so far for Laurel. Out across the 30, about to the 34.
And a little motion here on the strong toss to the right side, and they finally gave Walls and any running back here early on at least a little bit of room to run. Some green grass here for Laurel there for maybe the first time all night, and Tate Walls able to take advantage of it. When he has a little bit of room, that's all he needs.
Yeah.
And a big play, the biggest to date so far for the Bulldogs here at half number 1.
Yeah, a 14-yard pickup that time for Walls. He's carried 3 times for 11 yards. Receivers to the top and bottom of your screen.
First down of the game for Laurel, correct?
Yeah,
Is that correct,
I think
Glenn?
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double wing set again. Shockley under center. It's back to pass. Looks to throw in the far flat. Oh, and the ball was in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. That was number 13 that time. It's up Brian Ely.
And that was a perfect ball from Kobe Shockley. That was, again, a one-step drop there on the quick slant. He put it right where it needed to be, just in and out of the hands of the receiver. And we talked about the miscues for Laurel offensively. Another one there. It was a fumble on the last possession. Now a dropped pass. Just these things coming back to haunt Laurel here in the first half. And that was another play that was open that they could have converted on.
We have 4:28 to go in the half. And I think, if you call it a moral victory, if Laurel can keep this to a 12-0 game at half, go into the locker room, talk about what went wrong, what went right, what can we fix, and then come back out and you know, make those adjustments and get back in this ball game. But they've got to hang on here.
And like the play call, they were going back to play action. Going to have to put the ball in the air, but a false start against Laurel, though, going to negate that again. And now you only run so many pass plays if you're Laurel. Have them in your playbook. To have one in the process of getting started and then called back for a penalty, we'll see now what they do here after the flag.
We'll bring up 2nd down at 15. Ball back at the Bulldog 29-yard line. Coming up at the halftime, we'll update you on some scores around the state, have our unofficial stats for you. I talked to Executive Director Dave Baylor of the DIAA a couple of days ago and told him where we would be, and he said, oh, maybe I'll come up and watch that game. I said, if you do, let me know, and we'll have you up on halftime for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen any message from Dave, so.
I'm sure he's making the rounds. He's somewhere
tonight.
Maybe he'll pop up.
Could. Another timeout on the field. I believe we have a pre-snap penalty here. Let's update you on a couple other scores. Wilmington Friends leading Delmar on the road 7-6 early in that one, and Malvern Prep 7-0 leading Salesianum at Abyssinia. All right, now ready to go. I think the officials just weren't ready. Near flat, complete, and hit almost immediately, and thrown down. Josiah Crawford on the tackle.
And Crawford going to get hit with the unnecessary roughness here. You know, you see it in the NFL now is once you have them wrapped up, you can't lift them off the ground and then plant them back on the ground. And Crawford doing that near the sideline there, so that's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
That's a little wrestling move that has been outlawed now too, right? The last few years.
That's right. You got him around the waist. You step, lift. That's all that was there. Joseph Bader knows what I'm talking about.
That penalty will go against the Buccaneers.
That should give Laurel a first down. Let's see.
I would imagine so, yeah. And now, like you talked about building momentum and a little bit of confidence, I mean, you've now got a chance here to put some points on the board. Plenty of time left here in the first half with 4 minutes. You obviously don't want to turn the ball over and give Caravel the ball back, though.
Right.
They might not be a quick striking offense, even though how good their offense is, but a little bit of momentum here. And you see Shockley able to put the ball in the air here pretty successfully, showing off that arm a little bit here on the short routes. We'll see if they keep that going.
Yeah, I'm told he can throw it.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that tonight.
Tell you, I've realized, Glenn, all lefties have a cannon. If you didn't know, I've realized that over time.
Personal experience. Wideouts take off down the field, throwing the near flat completed midfield into Caravel territory, and then hit at the 45-yard limit. That's close to another Laurel
That's really
first down.
close, and that also would stop the clock. Let's see, and
That was
nope, he stayed inbounds and was a yard short.
2 consecutive pass plays in the near flat to Khalid Burton.
And Caravel going to call a timeout here and stop the clock.
Well, want to conserve some time. They can get the ball back. 3:50 to go in the half. Glenn Frazier alongside Nick Alessandrini. Nice weather here tonight.
Beautiful night.
Comfortable, like in the low 70s. I tell you, we've been spoiled the last couple of weeks here with the weather. It's almost like being in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Now you're talking, of course. And hopefully we can get – I am a fall guy, so hopefully we get a little bit of a fall season here soon. But I will keep this for as long as we can have it. I can't complain about the weather we have here on Friday Night Lights to start our year
Good
in
weather
September.
to hit the links there, buddy.
That is true. Can hit some balls after this. You can head to the range, get some night work in.
Is there an illuminated spot in the state? I don't think so.
You know what? That might not be a bad business.
Hey, there you
idea.
go. We need Top Golf somewhere in Delaware. Got another update? You got it?
Yeah, from Mike Lang giving us the Indian River Polytech update. 7-7 between those two teams. Winding down first half action. Late in the first half, Mike?
Probably.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, 2-step drop. Shockley throwing down the sideline, looking for a receiver that got tangled up a little bit with the D-back. Incidental, no call. Intended for Walls and incomplete.
Yeah, not sure if the ball was catchable either, but we've seen Shockley get into a rhythm here on this drive. The last few plays, the ball is coming out of his hands quick. He's getting it to his receiver. Did have that drop ball earlier there on a big play, but able to make that up. They're now into Caravel territory, but a big third down and short. So the passing game's been working on this drive. What do they do here, though, Glenn, on 3rd and short?
Yeah, 3rd and 2. Normally they'd run the football, but they haven't had much success tonight against Caravel. 2 wideouts to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Burton to the bottom. Walls is in a slot to the top. Shockley in the gun. He's going to take off with it himself, trying to get the far edge, puts the helmet down. I think he comes up shy. Time for the tush push.
Yeah, I mean, he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and this would be the perfect short case scenario out there on 4th down. And if you're Laurel, I don't think you have a choice. You got to go for this here, even though you're down 12-0. You got to give some momentum going your way. This is your best drive so far of the game right here, and unable to pick up anything there on 3rd down would hurt you, because you know you're going to go for it on 4th down. You would have liked maybe to pick up something there on 3rd. So we'll see what they do on 4th, but a big play here.
I thought he got a yard, but they said the knee was down. Now we got a penalty as well.
Something down. Oh.
Must have been dead ball. Let's see.
They're walking back there.
Oh, it was a holding call on the run. So now it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 12, back at the 43-yard line.
So that hurts. You know, you're finally Laurel building some momentum. You get into Caravel territory. Even at a 4th and 2, you know, you're still feeling at least okay with 3:23 to go. Now you're pinned back at your own 42. I would assume now if you're Laurel, you got 2 downs, but you're just trying to put some points on the board. Maybe now put the ball back in the air here after the penalty. We'll see what Coach Jones decides to do.
All right, Laurel up to the ball. Khalid Burton split to the bottom of your screen. Walls in a slot next to him, and now we've got a timeout.
Yeah, Coach Jones did not like what he saw. He was on the hip of the official, and right as they were setting up to run that play, he called the timeout. He's going to have a word with that offense.
6:38 left in the 2nd quarter. Upset in the making down in Lewis, Delaware. Lake Forest 16, Cape Henlopen nothing. That's a 2A versus 3A matchup. We saw Lake Forest against Odessa, our opening game of the season. They came from behind to get the win. A very good football team, a lot of talent back from last year. Had a couple of players that were injured last year that didn't get to play. One of them, Aiden Young, and he's back. So right now, a little bit of an upset down there, Lake and Cape.
And word, Sean Green letting us know here, must have been watching, maybe, but he says it was Josiah Crawford that tipped the football as Burton had it on the near sideline that led to Brock Rhodes stripping it clean. So it was Josiah Crawford that helped out on that strip. We talked about his 2 interceptions last week.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be helping be responsible for another turnover here tonight. And you think about that one, it's still a 12-0 game. That was Laurel was all going to drive the football there at that point. And again, Caravel's made some big plays when they needed to, but Laurel also some miscues in some big spots, and that's why we have a 12-0 score.
Yeah, and I think Burton, if he'd have caught that clean, he might have had a big gain out of that.
It would have been close to 6, maybe.
All right, here we go. 3:03 to go in the half. 3rd down and 12. Shockley looking near side. Pressure's coming. They try to grab the football out of his hands. That was Steele, but he'll go down for a big sack.
And there was a flag on the sack.
Yeah, I see it down there
So
now.
not sure if that's going to be maybe an unnecessary roughness or something. The play was they wanted to get Tate Walls on an up and out down the sideline. But when you have that pressure from Caravel defensive line, you're not going to have a lot of time for double moves, and they certainly didn't have one there.
The penalty is declined by Caravel. It was a hold on Laurel. Trying to stop, maybe even steal it, but it was one of those blitzing defenders that was about to sack quarterback Shockley behind the line of scrimmage.
And that is the most difficult thing planning for this Caravel defense is that if you are going to throw the ball, which Laurel doesn't typically do a lot of anyway, is that you need to get rid of the ball quickly. Otherwise, you're going to get sacked because of that pressure from that defensive front from Caravel, and that time just not enough time for the double move.
Well, high snap, high snap. Oh, alertly he got it off. And it's going to be down at the 47-yard line. What an athletic play by the punter, Walls.
That looked like it was going to be dark if you were a Laurel Bulldog fan. That looked like did not have a high chance of coming out working well at all, but from nothing to something there. Now we got a player down by the 20.
And we have another flag down, too. The Laurel bench and coaching staff was kind of blocking it, but I got a view. It's thrown just outside of the Laurel sideline down at the 28.
And I believe that's J.D. Devane that is down for the Buccaneers at the 20-yard line. And by the way they're stretching, you don't want to speculate, but you want to hope that it's maybe a cramp.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like the athletic trainers are trying to stretch that right leg out. But again, don't want to speculate, not sure what happened there.
All right, let's say we've got a couple more updates for you. Malvern Prep now leading 7-3, so the Sows get on the board with a field goal. And once again, 6:38 left in the half down at Cape Henlopen, and Lake has a 16-0 lead over the Vikings.
Yeah, how about Lake Forest? And again, they've got some talent on that team. I know a couple tough contests for them to start their year here this year, and an even tougher one here tonight, and able to show up here early on against Cape Henlopen.
All right, the injured player, Devane, just slightly limping off the field, but under his own power.
And the penalty was declined, so the play will stand right where the punt return was stopped at around the Caravel 47. So now, Glenn, if you're Caravel, we got 2 minutes and 9 seconds to work with. And the crazy part is, if I'm them, I go right back to Josh Roy in the run game, even with 2 minutes left to go here in the half. That's how talented he is.
You're right. So from their own 47, 2:09 to go in the half. And they have 2 timeouts left, I believe. No, they have 1 left. Oh, they do have 2. I'm sorry, they have 2. Yeah. Laurel has 1. Give to Roy out of the backfield, slashes through the line, and goes into Bulldog territory at about the 42, maybe the 43-yard line.
Pick up a nice chunk there, 5 on first down, and Caravel again has those 2 timeouts, and I'm sure, pound, and then look for the play action. That would, I would imagine here. And we have a flag on the field, and again, Pat's keeping us on our toes with these flags because they are flying.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen a lot of them, so shout out to Pat here. He's been keeping us.
We hardly had any in the opening quarter. We're starting to get them here in the second quarter. So Roy was tackled at the 48 of Laurel. It would be second down and about 4. We're going to check the white hat here.
Little John here over the speaker. This is where we got to bring Pat in.
Yeah. All right, here's dead ball. It's unsportsmanlike on Caravel.
Oh.
So that'll back up the Buccaneers with 1:52 to go in the half.
Definitely hurts your chances here with less than 2 minutes of taking it, down the side and scoring down the other side of the end zone here. But this Caravel offense, anything is possible with some of those guys, including Roy in the backfield. Yeah. So Laurel got to stay tight here. You got to stay focused because, again, Caravel, a team that can break one off.
Yeah. And when Caravel gets a big lead, man, they're just so hard to come back on.
And we talked about that at the top, and they went up early, and it's been tough for the Bulldogs.
Second down and 21. Ball back at the 37-yard line of the Buccaneers.
Score update here at the end of the half. Polytech 10 and Indian River 7. There's they come down and end half number 1.
Good 1A game. Yates will reset as tight end to the left They give it to a new running back out of the backfield. It's number 21, big yardage midfield and down at the 46-yard line. And on the carry that time was Brian Brooks, a sophomore.
Giving Roy a little bit of a breather here to wind down the first half. And how about Brooks breaking off a big one, and now Caravel changing that mindset. 2 timeouts here now into Laurel territory. It's time to start thinking points if you're the Buccaneers.
That's a big gain right there.
But taking their time, though, here in the huddle with 1:12 and ticking. Very content, and we talked about their methodology and how they do this. You know, that's kind of part of their game is being slow and using that run game, doing it even here.
And now a timeout before the snap.
Defense was not set.
Yeah, I think Joey Jones will call his final timeout with a minute left in the half. So how about Brooks? He comes in the game and just slashes right through the line, showed good speed. And, boy, if you've got somebody to complement Roy in the backfield, he's going to have a heck of a season.
Yeah, and it had some speed for the size, right? When they gave him the ball, it seemed like you had maybe a smash and dash approach here from the Caravel offense with, of course, Brooks being the smash, but showing off a little bit of the speed there and getting outside. And now, like we said, creating an opportunity to Caravel to put some more points on the board. Coach Jones using that timeout. That Laurel defense was not set correctly. They had late guys running late onto the field. That defensive front was kind of in shambles before the snap. And if you let that offense get to that next level, it might have been 6 on a handoff. So Coach Jones using that final timeout. I agree with him there to get that defense set because there's a minute left. Plenty of time for Caravel to score. And like you said earlier, if you can keep this 12-0 ball game heading into the locker room,
I think so.
It's almost a win.
Yeah. Yeah, you go in and regroup and come out, and then who knows? If you can get a score, you get right back in the ball game. Our thanks this year to another sponsor as well. They'll bring you the halftime scores, and that's Dover Federal Credit Union, voted an 8-time First State Favorite Credit Union. You can bank with a winner when you go with Dover Federal Credit. Rice rolls to the top of your screen. Tries to set up. Now he's just going to throw it away right at the last second.
And he took an absolute shot on the far side of the field. Matt Rice showing off the speed back there, using that speed to avoid the rush and get to the sideline. But again, as a quarterback, he was holding on to that ball there, got rid of it late, right near the sideline, and took a hard hit. No flag on the far side. As you see the Caravel coaching staff wanting one there on the far side of the field.
Now, you got one official coming in saying incomplete pass, put the ball back at the 47-yard line. They had placed it back in midfield, where it looked like Rice went out of bounds when he was trying to throw the ball to get rid of it. So now they're going to reset.
Wow. Yeah, and Glenn there with the speed for Matt Rice. Obviously, we haven't seen him take off or be a ball carrier yet in this game, but able to avoid the rush and get outside. And now a 4th down coming up here for Caravel. A big play for this Laurel defense.
Yeah, 4th down and a long 4. Steele will reset tight end to the right where the 2 receivers are. It's a handoff. Roy. Right side, he's inside the 40. It'll depend on the spot, but he easily has the first down yardage. They're going to mark him down right at the 40.
And I believe Caravel going to use that first of the 2 timeouts that they have. And a smart move there. Stops the clock at 47 seconds. They'll have another one here. Now just have to go 40 yards. I know it's crazy to say, but the best form of offense, whether that be you want to pick up a chunk here or a big play, is hand the ball off to Josh Roy. I mean, every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to take it to the end zone.
Yeah, 7 touchdowns coming into the game tonight.
Wow.
He's already scored once. The other was a touchdown pass to Witcher from Rice. So 8 rushing touchdowns for him on the season. Now, the one thing so far, Laurel has keeping him under his pace for 300 yards a game.
Yeah, I guess you can be successful if you keep him under 300.
Check off that box.
It's early, though. We don't know yet. You never know. But I will say, since that second touchdown from Caravel, that Laurel defense has played a lot better. They've kept it to this 12-0 margin now for a majority of this second quarter.
Yeah, because they scored 5 seconds into the second quarter was that second touchdown.
So like you said, if they could take this in the locker room, get a big stop here, we might see that confidence grow.
Rice under center. High formation behind him. Rhodes the fullback. Witcher comes in motion. They fake it. He's back to pass. He looks downfield. Has his man complete, who stumbles down to the 10-yard line, and that's Yates who got behind the secondary.
Play action here once again. You got one of the running backs that went to the left. The whole offense flew to the right, and now they're going to run up and try to spike this ball and save that timeout.
And there's the spike. 30-yard pickup there from the 40 down to the 10.
And
Go ahead.
And we haven't seen Caravel do a straight drop back pass yet. It's been running the football and only play action. Of course, we saw one go for a touchdown to Witcher earlier, and then a big play there that, if not losing his feet, might have found himself back in the end zone as he was free down the field.
Good play calling by the OC for Caravel. They're coming up with these play action passes at just the opportune moments. I mean, Laurel's selling out on the run.
And how could you not with Roy?
No. Yeah. First and goal play. Roy following, blocking up the middle. He meets a defender and will kind of dive down close to the 6.
And I believe a timeout here on the field will be the final timeout for Caravel. So that'll stop at 27 seconds. So they'll be up tempo here the rest of the way in the first half. But, yeah, Josh Roy has been phenomenal and just a threat every time he touches the football. And that, when you see him get stopped like that at the line of scrimmage, Glenn, you're almost a little bit surprised that he didn't pick up a yard or two.
All right, so unofficially, I have Roy with 100 yards rushing in the first half.
So not
I don't
quite.
know. I don't know if that's a win or what. I mean, he's on pace to get 200 for the game, which is normally a great night for anybody. But like I said, coming in, he's averaging 300.
That's right. That's the question. Is it a win? Or if you would have told Coach Jones, hey, you kept him to 100 yards in the first half, would you take it? You never know. And I'm sure knowing the coaches, they'll say, no, we're going to keep him, to nothing. That's the goal. But when you've got players like him and Josh Roy, heck of a play.
Here we go. Second down goal from the 6. 27 seconds to go in the half. No timeouts for either team.
Slot to the right.
Yep. High formation. He rolls to the right. Little pressure's coming. He rolls and then just gets rid of it to stop the clock. Good defense that time by Laurel.
And that time you saw Laurel bring the pressure, right? They brought 5 or 6 guys on the blitz and let the rest of those guys play coverage on the back end. And it worked out, right? Because if it's a run play, they brought everybody up to stop it. And that time they were able to get the pressure on Rice and force the incompletion.
And when you roll that way, of course, all the D-backs following the receivers in that direction. One of the hardest things to do for a quarterback is to stop and throw back across his body. You got to get those hips squared up. And we'll see. Maybe they'll run a play where he has to throw back if there's somebody wide open. 4th and goal. Rice looks left. Throws the Hail Mary up in the corner. The jump ball. Oh, Witcher had it for a second. I don't know whether it was knocked out or not. But back there on coverage, Parker, I think, maybe batted that away.
Yeah, not a terrible ball there from Rice. Just tried to get a little bit more air on it. They ran an end zone fade here on 4th down, which, hey, not a terrible play call. Get your guy one-on-one and give him a chance to make a play. And it was in his hands for a split second, but then you mentioned it, Parker able to just get a hand in and bat it down late. But it was up there. And, again, now Laurel with a 4th down missed field goal deep in their own territory, or deep in territory, and then able to force a 4th down stop here at the goal line. 2 big plays for that Laurel defense here to end the half.
Now I think we'll just see a knee here out of the Bulldogs, and if we do, we'll just send things into the locker room with a score 12-0 in favor of Caravel. And the way Caravel dominated in the first quarter, I think it's a little bit of a moral victory for Laurel to get some stops here in this second quarter and only be down 2 scores.
Yeah, absolutely, especially after the way Caravel did it, that deep touchdown pass. They got the run game going. But you could argue that Laurel played a better second quarter, depending, obviously, with Caravel scoring there early to start that quarter. But Laurel's defense looking tough on that Caravel offense, and I will say now, if they go to the locker room, I wouldn't be shocked. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Josh Roy here in the second half. Again, he's been successful with the ball in his hands. I would continue to get him the football if I'm Caravel, and if you're Laurel, you got to find, again, that rhythm offensively. That short passing game started to work near the end of that first half, so we'll see if they go back to that here in half number 2.
He's Nick Alessandrini. I'm Glenn Frazier. We'll be back about midway through this halftime break, update you on some scores, and we'll also have some unofficial stats for you. And as we go to the break, we're going to lead you in with top plays.
Snap slow getting there. Throws out to Pierce.
Oh,
Pierce.
he
Breaks the
broke
tackle.
loose. He broke loose. Now
Bowers to the top. Wagner has time. Now he throws a deep ball into the end zone. Diving attempt made, and it's caught for a touchdown.
Mark Lawrence will take the ball.
With the mistakes.
Budger under pressure. The screen to Corbin.
He's going to
and
go.
He's got running room. One guy to beat, and he kind of pulls up. Touchdown, Red Lion.
He has a stride on him.
Parsons, quick drop back, looks to his left, and has Miller. What a catch! Has it at the 20, and he is going to just strut into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Forest.
Neal and Perkins the tackles. Looked to pass. Those in the far flat. Tries to set up the screen. Elusive catch and go. And here he goes into the open. That's Patterson. They're trying to catch him from behind. They will not. He's going to go all the way from the 30. Chooses to try to score here. They're going to go Drummond on the quarterback draw. Drummond back to pass. He throws it downfield. Nice with the wideouts. Drummond rolls near side, throws back against the grain, and has Clement next to him. He drops back, looks to pass, looks middle of the field on a slant pattern. Hedger's in motion. Back to pass again. He throws the long ball. He's looking for Noah Hoff. Hits him. And Drummond drops back again. Looks right, now looks left. Throws the home run ball. Looking for Rogers over the shoulder. Makes the catch for the
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Caravel Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Caravel Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Caravel Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Caravel Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Caravel Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier?
All right, we're back here at Bob Peoples Stadium. Hope you enjoyed our plays of the week that we showed a little bit earlier here in the halftime break. Time now to look at our unofficial stats for the first half. Our producer tonight, Pat Carriante, is putting those numbers up on the board for you to see. And really, like I said, I think moral victory, Laurel's only down 12-0 because these stats bear that out. Laurel managed 18 yards on 10 carries rushing, and they were 3 out of 7 passing for 23. That's a total of 41. Let's take a look at the Caravel numbers. 20 rushing attempts, 165 yards. And then the quarterback, Matt Rice, was 4 out of 11 for 75 yards and a touchdown. That's a total of 240 total yards to 41 total yards. Total domination statistically, but again, only a 2-score game.
Yeah, you look at those stats that you read off, and then you look at the scoreboard, and you think Caravel will be up 28-0 maybe, or having scored 4 times, but it's 12-0. Laurel's also turned the ball over in that first half, so some miscues from Laurel, and they're only down 12-0. You don't want to say it was a win, even though it might be for the Bulldogs, but for them to be down only 12-0 with a whole half of football left, and obviously Caravel in the driver's seat. They got that run game going. The play action was phenomenal. They had a few miscues, including what would have been a touchdown as the tight end tripped and fell at around the 5-yard line. So I will say I am surprised that they had Matt Rice put the ball in the air 11 times in the first half. Having done Caravel games in the past few years, you hope maybe around 6 passes in the game you're going to get out of a Caravel quarterback. To have him throw the ball 11 times in that first half, to me, works out for the Laurel Bulldogs. I want them to put the ball in the 11 times in the air, because that means the ball's not going into the hands of Josh Roy, who you mentioned, I believe that you had said they had 20 rushing attempts total. How many did Roy have in that first half?
Unofficially, we have him 13 carries, just shy of 199 yards. But look at the other guys. Witcher, 2 carries for 16. Steele, 1 carry for 19. Brooks, 1 carry for 16. So a lot of these guys, because they're keying on Roy, they're doing these end arounds, and they're getting good yardage out of the tight ends that are getting the ball in the sweeps.
Yeah, and again, some of these passes have been wide open, and Rice has done a good job on some of these play actions, finding those guys deep down the field. Witcher has been his go-to guy here early on. But if I'm Caravel here in the second half, to me, it's going to be 2-3 the rest of this way. We're up 12-0. Ride us home. Let's run some clock. Let our defense do their thing. Let's keep the shutout going. And I pound Josh Roy the rest of the way. I have a feeling we'll see a lot of that here in the second half.
All right, you heard from the coach. Here's our scoring plays. 4:15 to go in the opening quarter. Caravel, 30-yard pass on play action from Rice to Witcher. The kick was blocked, and they were up 6-0. Next time they got the ball early in the second quarter. I mean the first play in the second quarter, a 12-yard run by Josh Roy. Again, the kick was blocked, and that's where our game is 12-0 at the half. Let's take a look at some other scores from around the state. In the second quarter, Malvern Prep on top of Salesianum 13-3. Red Lion has a 22-15 lead in the second quarter against St. Mark's in the Graveyard. Woodbridge leads Howard. Home game for the Blue Raiders. They're up 18-14 late in the half. It's Del Mar 18, Wilmington Friends 13 at the half. Lake Forest leads Cape 16-6 at the half. Polytech with a 10-7 lead over Indian River at halftime. Middletown 14-0, Athelton, Maryland, nothing. They have a 14-0 lead. The Cavaliers do second quarter. Finals for you. Charter of Wilmington 42-0 over Dickinson. Archmere 43-13 over Newark. Tatnall was leading Glasgow 24-12, the last score we had. That game should be final. And in the third quarter, it's First State Military 26-13 on the road at Seaford. Your halftime scores presented by Dover Federal Credit Union, voted an 8-time First State favored credit union. You can bank with a winner when you choose Dover Federal Credit Union. We thank them for sponsoring our halftime scoreboard. All right, we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the start of the second half. What adjustments have been made? We'll find out right after this.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Caravel Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the Raw Bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Caravel Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Caravel Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Caravel Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Caravel Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier?
We are dancing in the press box here at Bob Peoples Stadium. Glenn Frazier alongside the coach, Nick Alessandrini. Look, Benny always says every week he's with the coach, Jim Tack. And then when Nick does the games, he's with the coach, Bill. So, hey, I'm with the coach. Come
That's
on.
right. Pat's done some coaching. We got some coaching up here in 302. You're up in the box tonight for sure.
Yeah, let's mention the whole crew. We've got Christopher Widener on video camera down on the field. Our sideline camera, Nick Halliday, right now chatting with our photographer, still photography by Ben Fulton. Pat Gariantes producing and coordinating everything. We called him the EP when we were here last time, the executive producer, Mike Lang.
And
I think that's everybody.
What a phenomenal, just the process that we have here this year. And,
yeah.
You know, just everybody doing, exactly what they need to do to get a phenomenal product out there. Just thankful to be a part of it. A phenomenal crew here tonight.
Now, you and I are going to have, and maybe we'll make it a group effort, might have a difficult decision as we're coming up with a player of the game for our post-game interview.
That's right.
Nick and I discussed it, and we already spoke to Josh Roy 2 weekends ago. Very well-spoken young man, I have to say, and very humble. He credited his offensive line and his teammates because he committed 3 fumbles in the first half of that game, even though he rushed for 300 yards and scored 3 touchdowns.
Just one for every 100 yards he gained on the ground.
Yeah. So I asked him in the interview, I said, young man, led up to it with some details, and I said, what did you think of your performance? He said, well, the first half wasn't too good. But my teammates picked me up. So we might be looking, I don't know, if the score holds up, we might be looking at a defensive player from Caravel. So we'll keep our eyes open.
Certainly could be.
Short kick, almost an onside attempt. Scramble for it. Laurel had a chance to get that, but I think Caravel covered it up.
And that would have been very close. That was a heck of a kick.
Yeah.
But Caravel, I believe, is on it. There has been no call down on the field just yet, Glenn, but we're just going to assume Caravel recovered it.
I heard the PA announcer say J.D. Devane came up with the recovery, but the ball had backspin on it. So it hit at the 43-yard line of Caravel and came back, and one of the special teamers for Laurel reached back. He tried to reach back, but his momentum was going in the opposite direction.
And it's good to see Devane back out on the field after dealing with those cramps to end that first half. So good to see him back in action here on special teams just to start half number 2.
Exactly right. Good call. All right. First down play, Tyson Witcher split to the bottom of your screen with the I formation, double tight ends. It's a sweep to the top of your screen. Josh Roy, there's your call there, Nick Alessandrini, as he goes down near midfield.
I think, Glenn, get used to saying Josh Roy the rest of the way, because at least if I was Coach Reed in Caravel, I'm riding him the rest of the way. They started off with him there. 13 carries in the first half. I expect him to get above that here in half number 2. We'll see, but a nice chunk there on first down. You get 4 or 5 yards. That's what you want in the run game as an offense.
Unofficially now over 100 yards rushing in the game tonight. And listen, this Laurel Bulldogs team, folks, they're no slouch. They were toe-to-toe with Sussex Central for 3 quarters in that game to start the season. Ended up losing 41-20, but they played right with a good 3A team.
That cannot be understated enough.
There's your hard cadence again there, quarterback.
There it is.
And that should give the Buccaneers the automatic first down.
And it will. They've done a good job of doing that at the correct times, right? Last time they picked up a yard, it was 2nd and long. They hit him with the cadence. They get the offside, and now you're looking at 2nd and short. So just a very good job by Coach Reed and Matt Rice to not only use the cadence as your weapon, as we mentioned earlier, but at the correct times in unique situations. And now they're able to get a new set of downs out of it.
From the Bulldog 45, 1st and 10 for the Caravel Buccaneers. The opening drive of the second half of this one. Fake it, play action, back to pass. Looking downfield, throwing the deep ball, has a man in the middle of the field, complete the tight end. Yates made a man miss inside the 5, and he scores. 45-yard touchdown strike to tight end Yates.
And there it is on the play action again. It was the same play that we've been seeing here throughout the ball game. It's a 2 to 3 man route, I believe 2 across the middle with 1 deep, and then the tight end coming on a drag a little bit shallower there across the field. Both of them were open, but he made the choice. Rice did and made a beautiful throw to the more open receiver, which ended up being Yates, and then him doing the run after the catch. Could have maybe been tackled at the 10, but him saying, one-on-one, I will not be brought down, and he takes it into the end zone. A touchdown pass for Rice, and, of course, a touchdown catch that time for Yates on a big play here to start this second half for Caravel.
Makes it 18-0. Will they go for 2? And they will. They have 2 extra points blocked so far. Try to make up those missed points. Hand off to Roy. Started left, cuts it right. He was stood up, and he bounces away and gets the 2-point try.
Wow. That's impressive. And we talk about the last couple years, here at Caravel and the running back situation, the running backs they've had, they've been so good, including that state championship last season. And now you're seeing Josh Roy this year for Caravel just pick up right where this team left off last year. And that was one of the nicest 2-yard runs you'll see this season. And just making it look easy, was stopped up at the line of scrimmage in the backfield, but just through sheer willpower, he's able to find a way, use that agility, shiftiness, and just find a hole and get through it. Unbelievable.
So how about, Nick, a 2-play drive covering 55 yards to start the second half for Caravel?
That's right. It starts with the 1 run to Josh Roy, and then you're thinking, hey, maybe they'll pound him, but they go right to the play action way earlier than I even anticipated here in the second half, Glenn. And they are letting it fly here. 12th pass attempt, I believe, already. Now here for Matt Rice.
Yeah. And he's thrown 2 touchdown passes in the game. Let me tell you, folks, there's not too many times over the last few years in this 36-3 record over the last 3 years plus where you can say Caravel scored more touchdowns through the air than they did on the ground.
No doubt. And again, Huerta was great in the play-action game the last couple years, and Rice looking
kickoff.
very comfortable.
Over the return man, Tate Walls' head and into the end zone for the automatic touchback. So a chance there for a return, but the return men were probably 15 yards from the end line. So touchback.
And Glenn, we talked about momentum and how that 12-0 was a big win for Laurel going into the locker room, holding Caravel scoreless almost for the entirety of that second quarter after the touchdown early, about 5 seconds in that you mentioned. And then Caravel able to come right back out here out of the locker room and score on that first drive. So a gut punch there to the Laurel Bulldogs here to start the second half, who now trail 20-0. And now it goes from, maybe you had to put some points on the board, and you have to put a drive together here very soon. It's going to have to start maybe right here for Laurel. Will they keep the ball on the ground? That's what they're used to, or will they see them put in the air again?
Yeah, they didn't gain much yardage on the ground in the first half. Handoff up the middle. Second back through, stood up after about a 2-yard gain, and now a late flag is thrown right near the end of the play. Officials saw something in that interior mix. I think he pointed towards Caravel. Now still waiting for, it is a penalty against the Caravel Buccaneers. Waiting for the call for the white hat. They're kind of discussing, okay, where are we going to step this off from? That's a hold.
I'm going to go, I believe, a hold against the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
So that one hurts again, right? You just give up a touchdown drive to Caravel and a deep pass on the play action, and then first play you come out and you get the false start, or excuse me, the holding penalty.
Yeah.
That will back them up. So again, it's been the miscues and inopportune times for the Bulldogs, and another one here to start this drive.
Now you're behind the chains.
Against one of the best defenses in the state.
You got that right. Any class.
Exactly
the best defense in one of the best defenses.
Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. We're not talking strictly 2A.
No. 2 receivers in the set, double wing, straight back. Shockley just over the head of his intended receiver, incomplete. That was a well-designed play and intended for Tate Walls.
And we're seeing him show off the arm here a little bit, Shockley. He's got a cannon like we talked about. Again, the accuracy may be a little off there, but I'm not sure if just Walls looked up a little bit late or maybe just didn't see it, had too much velocity on it, or maybe it was out of his reach. A tough viewpoint here on the near sideline, but again, we're seeing kind of a shift in the offense here for Laurel now in this game. Couldn't get the run game going. Now they're going back to the quick passing game.
Well, we had another flag in the backfield. a hold again. This one's
I should have
declined.
known.
Yeah, they're going to decline this one. So it'll bring up second down at 20.
Pat's arm's going to hurt from telling us there's flags down on
Yeah.
the field all the time. My
That
goodness,
time it
this is
was the
getting
EP
crazy.
I think, down there. I caught Mike Lang with the signal.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, I believe it was back in, was it week 0, week 1, that Caravel and Hodson, and there was tons of penalties in that game as well.
Yeah. Yep. Turnovers, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Second down and long. Ball back near the 10-yard line. Double wing set again. A wing back in motion. Gets the football. Nothing there. He ran right into the arms of, looked like Caleb Rickards.
Yeah, Brock Rhodes right there as well to help wrap him up. And this Laurel offensive line, it's not that they're not even getting a push, but there have been no holes being open for these running backs to try and get through. It's been running right into the backs of this offensive line from that push from that Caravel front.
Trying to pick up who that actually was that time. It wasn't the player that I mentioned. I think that might have been 24 Yates on the stop. He just plugged the middle of the line.
And the depth here for Caravel across the board is just so impressive.
Third and long. They just hand off, second back through. I believe that's Walls, and he meets a wall for sure and is thrown back after he got to the 12.
There's J.D. Devane from the linebacker position. Again, that 4-4 is so strong. Not only the defensive front, but you've got 4 absolute stud linebackers for Caravel at that second level as well. So with that push and those linebackers, that time Laurel just going back to straight power. They're going right back to the basics. It's power to the left side and still just nothing there.
No. Actually, no gain on the play. It's 4th down and 18. Walls back to punt, gets this one offside of his foot. That's going to go out of bounds. Not much distance on that punt. And Caravel is going to be in business.
And again, just another miscue, right? Just off the side of the foot. You hate to see that happen in special teams. And just a tough break for Laurel. And again, you know, being the punter there, that doesn't happen too often, and I'm sure he's upset about that one. Just a miscue, and that can happen just off the side of the foot. And now Caravel is in the red zone automatically once again. It seems like just a minute removed from throwing that deep touchdown pass.
Right. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line of the Bulldogs. And Tate Walls, once again, he does everything. And he's punted well all night long.
Yeah.
He booted one from his end zone all the way down to the 40 earlier in the game. That one, unfortunately, like you said, went offside of the foot.
And if you're a punter, sometimes that just happens. Not every punt can be perfect. And that time at a bad spot, deep in his own territory, just got off the side of the foot. Let's see if the Laurel defense can recover.
Steele moves from the left to the right side at the tight end position. Hand off to Roy. Shifty back is caught from behind that time. At the 15, he'll gain about 3.
So maybe the shortest gain of the evening is so far for Roy, and you would imagine now, Glenn, 20-0 lead. Still early in the third quarter, but Caravel, a team that can run that clock.
Yeah, that's what I think is the key now. I mean, they came out and opened up, and they passed the ball on that first drive.
Surprised me.
Yeah, but now with a 3-score lead, I think we might see them strictly stay on the ground.
And again, maybe we'll see Brooks here a little bit later.
All right. Brock Rhodes, the fullback, double tight end. Steele in motion, will reset on the right side of the line. 2 receivers to the right, the top of your screen. Roy again, made a man miss, got inside the 15, and then he was stopped. So he's going to gain about 2 on that play.
And it was Elijah Niblett that came up and laid a boom on Roy. But again, Roy's such a strong ball carrier. Usually when a linebacker comes up and fills the hole and hits you like that, it's going to be taken down for, a short gain or a loss. But that time, Roy just absorbs these hits. He's got a low center of gravity. We talked about his agility, but he's also such a strong ball carrier. He's able to break tackles with his strength as well. He did that there and able to stick up and pick up a few extra yards.
3rd down and 4 from the Laurel 12-yard line. Double tight ends. Tyson Witcher wide out to the bottom of your screen. He's in the slot. Looking to pass. Oh, and he is crushed in the backfield. He might have even lost the ball.
I think flags came out later, unless it was just to spot the ball off the fumble, So he lost the football. That was an absolute boom. I think that was Keyshawn Copes off the edge. And Glenn, for the first time, that is the first straight drop back pass we have seen out of Caravel with no play action. The first time that they've done that tonight, and Laurel dialing up the pressure at the perfect time. They get the sack, and I think they got the football.
And it looks like they did get it. It's going to be out across their 20-yard line. So they avoid going down by 4 scores after the botched punt.
And again, this time it was Caravel in the pistol. They haven't run a lot of anything. I think that might have been the first play out of the pistol we've seen tonight also. And, of course, the first straight drop-back pass we've seen. No play action, and that time Laurel was bringing the pressure at the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, Rice never felt that coming. He was just waiting for Roy to get to a spot. Here's a pass. It's knocked down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete by Shockley. But, yeah, it looked like he was waiting for Roy to get to a certain spot. Yeah. He was covered up, and that little bit of hesitation, never felt it coming from the blind side.
Yeah, and as a quarterback, you've got that 3-second timer in your head from when that ball hits your hands. And that time, he had less than 3 seconds. That pressure dialed up. He didn't get quite to number 3 as he was hit quickly.
So we give Laurel's defense credit there on that stop. We are midway through the third quarter. 20-0. Top-ranked Caravel on top, trying to extend their winning streak to 16 games. And it would be the 4th straight in the series with Laurel.
And Glenn, could you tell everyone at home, and myself included, how many passing attempts does Shockley have so far in this game?
That was the 9th one there.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure if you go back and look at those other games, not sure if they've thrown the ball that much, at least to this point either. But they've completely changed the offense here early on. It's been from the run to everything being now in the short pass game. It's quick hitters from Shockley.
Yeah, exactly.
And now
again, the two teams that predominantly run the ball, and both of them have thrown it more tonight because of the defenses.
My first game of the year, and I'm like, did these teams go through big transformations in the offseason? Maybe new schemes, but now they've still got it, just putting the ball in the air tonight, and now a delay of game, another miscue against the Bulldogs. You just can't have those things happen and expect to compete with a team like Caravel on the road.
Shockley in the gun. 2-step drop. He looked out in the flat. Now he's going to take off with it on the scramble across the 20 and bounces out to about the 23-yard line. So he's going to gain about 7 there.
And Devane has been all over the field. This time he's dropping back in his hip to curl coverage at linebacker and then able to read the quarterback and just go and make a play. He's been all over the field, but again, I mean, this linebacker, this whole defense in general is just filled with fantastic players all across the board. Devane, one of 4 stud linebackers, and all of them making plays so far tonight.
Clock running, 5:40 to go in the third. 20-0, Caravel on top. 3rd down and 9 here for Laurel at their own 22-yard line.
And you would think Walls or Burton. Let's see.
In the gun, Shockley. Pressure's coming. He has to elude it. He scrambles. There's a penalty flag that goes flying as he's tackled behind the 20, and that'll be officially a sack. But let's check the flag, which is probably going to be a hold.
And this was great coverage on the back end here from Caravel. There was nobody open for Shockley to go to. Had to just tuck it and run.
There's our referee. And there's the call. Holding. Will they decline? Yeah, they'll decline. That's the wise decision. It'll bring up 4th down and about 11 after the sack.
Now a little platoon switch here. 4 players coming onto the offense, or 4 new players coming in for the offense here. Oh, it'll be the punt team. Well, that would explain it.
Yeah. Tate Wall's back to punt. Let's see if he gets a better kick this time.
You would imagine so, for sure. But again, another tough spot. Once again, this Laurel offense not doing him any favors, pinning him deep.
Gets that one off in a hurry. It's going to take a Laurel bounce across midfield, and we'll be down at the 43-yard line of Caravel. They'll have it with about 4:50 to go in the third. So, again, we take a look at the two teams. You can't really tell a whole lot because Laurel got pinned back, but adjustments made at halftime. Laurel shooting themselves in the foot with the hold penalty and the last 2 drives.
Yeah, you had the punt there for Balls the 2 punts ago. You had the couple big holding calls. You had the offsides calls defensively right when you had Caravel in a couple tough situations. You had the fumble there, poked out by Crawford, recovered, stripped by Rhodes there on the ball that could have been a big play to Burton. So just, again, small miscues here for the Bulldogs, and it's tough to beat a team as good as Caravel when you almost play a perfect game. So when you have things like that happen, it makes it a little bit more tougher. But 20-0, Caravel back on offense. See if the Laurel defense can force a turnover.
3 receivers to the top of your screen. There's that hard cadence again. Pitch out to Roy, but they're going to stop the play. And it will be most likely a 5-yarder going the other direction against Laurel, who has really committed the majority of the penalties in this game tonight.
And we talked early on about we had 1 penalty, I believe, through the first quarter. Well, they have piled up here in the second half and beyond, even in that second quarter. So seeing a fair share of them now.
Well, that time the penalty was against the offense. How about that? So it was a procedure call. We got that one wrong.
Sussex Central 34-0 over DMA.
Yeah.
And that goes back to your point earlier, Glenn. This Laurel had Sussex Central 20-20 late in that third quarter.
I'm going to give you another update here in a second. Here's our play. Handoff Roy. Started right, cut it back to the left. He had to because there was nothing but white jerseys in front of him. And credit the Laurel defense there. Listen to this. At halftime, we had a score of Lake Forest leading Cape Henlopen by a score of 16-6. Lake scored on the first drive of the second half to cut it to 16-13. Then they recovered an onside kick and scored again. So now Cape's in front over Lake by a score of 20-16.
And usually it's, when you're going up a class as Lake is against Cape, maybe you're the one that has to break out all the stops, the onside kicks, etc. But Cape happened to go deep in their bag there to get this lead back from a very talented 2A Lake Forest team.
A lot of our friends and fans helping us with score updates. Thanks to Earl Biddle for that one. Give us to Roy. Bounces it to the outside. Gets the edge. Now he breaks in the open. 40, 35, 30, and out of bounds at around the 26-yard line.
I will say, it's the little things, and that was a heck of a run there by Roy. But Khalid Burton took the right angle. That was a nice job to go across the field just to get him out of bounds, because that was looking like it might be 6 down the sideline for Josh Roy. But a nice angle there from the Bulldogs and Khalid Burton, who was able to get to the other side of the field and push him out of bounds to save a touchdown.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's dangerous when he gets in the open. Let's do another update. The Philadelphia Phillies, who were embarrassed last night in New York against the Mets, have an 8-2 lead in the top of the fifth tonight, trying to bounce back.
We'll see if Trey Turner can help out Pat's fantasy baseball team tonight.
Josh Roy up the middle, inside the 20. And we heard a big woo coming from our producer down there. 7-yard pickup that time for Roy.
And I believe, Glenn, the Mets with the best record in baseball since Memorial Day. I think that's accurate. They've been a hot team. We'll see how this kind of unfolds here as we get to the end of this regular season, but hopefully the Phils can grab that top spot in the National League. Dodgers are coming, though.
Yep. Second down and 3 play. Roy ran into 2 defenders. He surged forward. He gained a yard.
So now starting to see Laurel's tighten up things up front here.
Yeah.
I believe that's the first couple plays in a series of one set of downs where they've been able to limit Roy to minimal yardage on 2 carries. So now here we go, 3rd and short. Now, are we going to see what we've seen out of Caravel so far, Glenn? And maybe on 3rd and short, they go play action, look for the touchdown,
right?
or do you just pound Josh Roy here and get the first down? So we'll see. Tonight, they've been surprising me with a lot of this play action game that they've been so effective with.
And they're going to give it to Brock Rhodes, the fullback. And he got stood up and backs down and throws that football out, and he might have the first down.
Risky when you hold that football out. You're not near the goal line, right? Because if you don't break that plane, but Rhodes just – again, trying to get that extra yard. They needed about 2 for the first down, and usually when you give the ball to Brock Rhodes on that inside handoff, who's going to get it?
And he got it. Just enough for the first down. Keeps that clock running.
And like you said, that's their main goal right now for Caravel. They've got a 20-0 lead, pound the football, and run that clock.
Exactly. I want to give props out again to, once again, our viewers that are letting us know these score updates at Phillies game, courtesy of Gil Goldsboro.
Caravel's
Marty Sheehan helping out with
That's right,
scores.
Marty, always such a helpful hand here on these broadcasts. Shout out to the High School Football Debate Pod. With
play action, rolling near side, and then just having to get rid of it, and completes the pass to Yates, who is tackled inside the 15-yard line. two players right in his face, and Rice does a great job to unload that one.
I mean, you can see the confidence that Coach Reed has in him, right? You can tell just by the amount of play calls here with him putting the ball in the air, and he's looked good doing it. And what you notice watching him play tonight is he's phenomenal, or I guess you could say at his best when he's on the run. They do a great job of getting him out of the pocket and moving right or left here. You can throw cross body, but he's been phenomenal in the play action game.
Well, that one only went for 4. I thought it went for more than that. So second down at 6 coming up.
Yeah,
at
made
the
something
12.
out of nothing, yeah.
Yeah. James Steele lined up his tight end to the right. Choka had to pick up some piece of equipment. Now they're set. Yates in motion to the top of your screen. They fake it, throw in the middle of the field. Wide open for the touchdown is Steele, the 3rd touchdown pass of the game for Rice.
And there you have it. They said, Nick, you thought we were going to run the ball today? You're absolutely wrong. We're going to put it in the air once again. Another nice throw. I've been very impressed with Matt Rice, the sophomore quarterback tonight, able to find, I believe you mentioned James Steele for the touchdown.
Yeah.
And again, they send the one tight end in motion as a clear out from left to right. Nobody actually ran with him, so it was kind of opened up first. That was not supposed to be the point of the play, but it was a late recovery. They still found the tight end in the middle of the field, which was the first read that time for Matt Rice. So another nice job by Caravel. With the passing game, you mentioned it, 3 touchdowns. I've never called a game with a quarterback from Caravel throwing 3 touchdowns.
All right, they'll go for 2 again. High formation. Rice under center. Flips it to Roy, tries to get the edge. Stutter step move at the 5, and it will not make it. He'll go down right there. Caravel, 4 touchdowns in the game. And again, about the only thing that you can say in a negative way for Coach John Reed's team is they haven't been able to consistently convert after the scores. They got 1 2-point conversion, had 2 kicks blocked, and that one failed.
That's true. And again, usually you wear down a defense with that run game, and Roy you would anticipate finding more holes as the game progressed. It's been the opposite. The Laurel defensive front has actually gotten better here in the second half and have limited him here as of late, but it's been the passing game that has elevated that Caravel offense today. 26-0. The defense did what we thought they would do, and that's make it extremely tough for the Laurel offense to score, if at all. They have outscored opponents 75-6 coming into this game, did Caravel, and now that's just going to go up to about 102-6 here so far. That is a heck of a start for this Caravel team through the first 3 weeks of the year.
Very impressive ball club, and definitely, rightfully so, our unanimous pick to be number 1 in Class 2A. Well, I guess Cape Henlopen got ticked off at halftime because Tingle just threw a touchdown pass to put him up 20-16. Now, as a D-back, he intercepts the ball and returns it to the 3-yard line. They score again, so Cape now leads Lake 27-16.
Again, things can change so quickly in this game, and that's why Laurel down only 12-0 early. They still had a chance. They were right in it, but again, a couple of those miscues led to Caravel extending this lead.
Return from the 11-yard line, goes out across the 25 to about the 27. And that was Burton on the return. 62 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Well, if you're Laurel, you had trouble. You just can't move the ball. At times when you have come up with a good play, like the 1 turnover, or they've had costly penalties.
Yeah. And again, even on that turnover play, it was a big play that could have got them into Caravel territory. They've had limited plays on that side of the field today in its entirety. But, of course, that Caravel defense coming in, we knew how good they were. They've said the last 3 years. They are a touchdown away or a stop away from 2 years ago being back-to-back state champs, and now coming in here as looking to go for the 3-peat. So we knew what we were getting with this Caravel team is just what we were going to get out of Laurel, and just didn't have their best game tonight because they're such a talented and hard-nosed football team.
There's a throw to the underneath receiver, Tate Walls, out of the backfield. Complete, but very little of any gain.
And again, sticking with that quick passing game because, 1, the run game was dead early in this game. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. And 2, you don't have enough time for Shockley to get off double moves or to get off passes deep down the field. So they've had to resort to this quick passing game here in the second half and then late in that first half. And they've seen some glimpses and some flashes of maybe some things that they could take going forward in the season, but just not able to get anything going against this Caravel defense.
Wide out split to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. That's Burton at the bottom. In the gun, quarterback Shockler. Two-step drop, sets up, throws middle of the field, and incomplete, intended for number 2, Niblett.
And this time, we were so used to the short passing game. This time they had the track star, the 400-meter runner, Khalid Burton, here on the outside, right in front of us on the near sideline. Had him on the deep route. But again, when you're a quarterback and you're getting rattled and pressured and you're going to that quick game, you don't necessarily have time to look, though that time he did, just unable to see him.
Yeah, unfortunately, after you pointed it out, I saw there wasn't anybody near him defensively for Caravel. So we're winding down to the end of the third quarter of play here. 2 touchdowns in this third quarter for Caravel to extend their lead. Walls in motion, gets the pitch out. Dekes inside of one defender but can't get away from the second one. No gain again, and that might be the last play of the third quarter. Officials stop the clock momentarily.
More cramps, it looks like, for J.D. Devane down there after another phenomenal play defensively. These linebackers, you know, haven't been a linebacker myself. They've been so much fun to watch here tonight, all 4 of them. Devane making another play, another tackle for loss. Here comes 4th down, but it looks like battling. And, again, you don't want to speculate, but he dealt with cramps towards the end of that first half, and you would imagine that's probably what he's going through right now, or at least you would hope and not a, body injury there.
So they're just tending to him, and then we'll get to the end of the fourth quarter. Then we will step aside. So we're just waiting for Devane to get back to his feet. Now they're still working on his right leg. So 2 scores, both touchdown passes here in the third quarter by Matt Rice and both the tight ends, one to Yates and one to Steele.
Yeah, trying to work out these cramps down there. And again, humid day today, right? Late in September. Don't expect to maybe have that temperature, which we referenced earlier in the broadcast, but we'll take it as long as we can get it.
You got it.
And looks like he's able to get up under his own power. We'll have to take a play off here as he heads to the sideline.
All right, and that play will come in the fourth quarter. We are the end of 3 here at Bob Peoples Stadium. Caravel 26, Laurel nothing. Back in 60 seconds on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like, from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they...
All right, here we go with the fourth quarter. Devane off the field, looked like, again, just cramps again, so...
Yeah, still getting stretched out on the far side by the athletic training team.
Yep. So Wall's back in punt formation again. High snap, he brings it in. Nice high booming punt.
That's a good one.
No fair catch called for. Nice shifty run on the return. About a 5-yard return. And that was Richie Massey on the return for the Buccaneers. How about, listen to this. What a barn burner down in Lewis tonight at Legend Stadium. So Cape's down 16-6.5. They come roaring back to take a 27-16 lead, but no, Lake just scored on an 86-yard touchdown run.
Oh,
now
man.
It's a field goal game. It's 27-24, Cape over Lake.
Well, I don't think you can catch that one being streamed.
No, it's not.
I don't believe so.
No.
It's a shame.
And yeah.
Well, don't you wish we could just be at every game across the state?
Yeah. I can't get this crew to go all the way down there.
We're only so many people,
Exactly. Give right up the middle. Guess who? Josh Roy.
And now you get to the point here, Glenn. It's 26-0 in the fourth. When do we start to see more Brooks here the rest of the way? Maybe they want to keep Roy going and still have that momentum for him going into next week, but I think he's done a very good job tonight. And Brooks, when he's been in the game, has looked good too. So we'll see how long these starters are out here for Caravel, because in the past, they've been out there for a majority of the game no matter the score. So we'll see what happens.
Unofficially, I have Roy for about 164 yards rushing.
Oh, he's
going to
be disappointed in himself.
Yeah, right. He'll be happy with the win, though.
Anybody else would be happy, I'm sure.
It's the fullback. Oh, Rhodes met right at the line, driven back. He might have lost a yard.
And again, to the point that we made a few moments ago, the Laurel defense has kind of stepped it up with that run game there as Joseph Baynard once again making a big play. He was one of our players to watch defensively for the Bulldogs. And this team has picked up their run defense here in the second half. But Caravel, again, we don't have exact statistics on live stats here or anything like that, but yards per carry in totality for Caravel was high in that first half and into the second here. But this third and fourth quarter has been good for that run defense for Laurel.
Yeah, they gave that one big run, about a 35, 36-yard run by Roy. Other than that, single digits.
It's been the play action that's killed him.
And there's play action right on cue. Throws the long ball. Oh, what a catch. Fall into the ground made by Yates.
And it looked as if he took a step forward like it might have been going over his head, but once again, Rice able to get it to him, and he's able to reach up with both hands and haul it in. The weapons around Matt Rice, Glenn, have been fantastic tonight. These tight ends, they can run, they can catch, and they can block.
26-yard reception, connection Rice to Yates. The tight end's having a night. And so's quarterback Matt Rice, who's probably tickled to death to be able to throw the ball this much, huh?
He's got to love it. I mean, when you're a quarterback, all you want to do is throw that football. And when you have a run game like Caravel has, sometimes you don't have to. But tonight they needed to, and they looked good doing it.
They do the wide receiver sweep, and that is Witcher with the ball. He weaves his way down inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. And it's going to come back, we think.
I believe a hold here out on the edge from number 24 for the Buccaneers.
That's the tight end that just caught the ball.
Yeah, Yates got a little excited, the adrenaline flowing after that big play. And it was a close call out here on the edge.
Okay.
As he was blocking his defender down the field.
Well, tonight we expected two prolific running attacks and a fast-paced game, but instead we've got a pretty steady dose of some passing. We're going to see a lot of passing next Friday night. We'll be at Appo High for Smyrna and Appo. Desai Drummond, who put on a clinic against Dover last week, against Drew Marks and the Smyrna Eagles. Plenty of wide receiver talent in that one.
Ooh, that is going to be a fun one. And Glenn, I was talking to you and Pat and Mike here before the game. I want to be the president of the Desai Drummond fan club. I mean, he is phenomenal. Just what I've seen of him, so far, with that pocket presence and the stature he brings to the position, that arm he's got a can. I'm excited to see him in person next week.
That should be a heck of a game. Roy up the middle, got to the 30, 3-yard pickup. Drug a couple of defenders with him, but I think we should see a lot of what you just mentioned, a lot of just Roy up the middle, maybe Brooks in the game for a couple of carries and Rhodes. As we're inside of 9 minutes to go in this one.
Man, coming in, your goal and what it's become, your goal as an offense when you come here to play Caravel is you just want to find the end zone. I mean, it is crazy ridiculous at how good they are keeping opponents out of the end zone for the entirety of the game. They give up one touchdown coming in, looking at another shutout here. It is just hard for a team to put together a scoring drive against Caravel.
Yates goes in motion. I think the wide out at the top of your screen jumped.
And still putting it in the air.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
I am as well.
After the penalty, it was 2nd and 11, and we're going to have another 5-yarder here. As, again, the wide out at the top of your screen jumped the signal. So now the ball back to the 36 of Laurel. And it brings up 2nd down to 16. Go ahead.
And, sometimes maybe you just want to work on certain things. You're up 26-0, and maybe you're just trying to get Matt Rice some more reps putting the ball in the air or, throwing the football because maybe you're going to need him to do that, going forward the rest of the season. But that has definitely been the plan tonight, and hopefully we can ask him that question or ask whoever we talk to here after the game that question about what the game plan was.
Fake the pitch out. They go to Yates on a counter play, and a nice ankle tackle made. Let's see who gets up off the turf. I think that was number 2, Elijah Niblett, on the stop.
He's had a few nice plays defensively here in the second half coming up from that outside linebacker position.
There's a loss there of about 4 yards.
So now 3rd and 19, Glenn. Let's think. What do you think here, at least for terms of Matt Rice. I think they may throw it even again here, right? You got to. They've only run one straight drop back pass today.
Yeah. They might just go ahead and throw it again, try to get the first
I
down,
might.
right?
I think
Move
they
your
might.
chains.
I don't know.
All right, we've got Richie Massey split to the top of your screen. The tight end Yates is in a slot to the top. And now the other tight end, Steele, will reset to the left of the line. It's a pitch out. They run a sweep with Roy, top of your screen, 40 and down close to the 35-yard line. So they'll only pick up about 5 there. Keep the clock running with a run game. They might just go for it again here.
I was going to say, they might. If you putt it here, you're at the 35. You might as well just go for it. The defense has been unbelievably stout. You're going to have to make them at least go, you're thinking 65 yards. So, 100%. All 4 going for it here for the Buccaneers.
Got Woodbridge on another score update. Woodbridge with a 1-point lead over Howard, 21-20, 3:23 to go in the third quarter of that one. And we have a final in Christiana 24, AI DuPont nothing. Oh, I think the punt was partially blocked. And we have a flag in the backfield where the punter was. Keyshawn Copes committed the penalty.
I think he ran into Rice there as he got rid of it late. It was a bad snap, a very athletic play by Rice to go up and get that football and still able to get it away. But after he kicked it, Copes came in a little hard and got him with a shot towards the tail end of the play. So I believe that's going to be the calls. We have another player down around the 40.
Appears to be number 10 on special teams for the Buccaneers, and that is Amir Myers, the junior. Hopefully the young man's okay. That was away from the play as we have a stoppage with 6:10 to go in this ball game. Now they have some trainers going out onto the field.
Yeah. And hopefully he is A-okay here.
And now another back-and-forth game. St. Mark's leads Red Lion 29-22. That's late in the third quarter.
Those all 7 o'clock starts as well?
Yeah, mostly all 7 o'clockers. Yeah, Woodbridge kicked a field goal to take that 1-point lead over Howard. So that's 21-20 Woodbridge late in the third.
Some slower games tonight, huh?
Yeah.
These are all kicking off at 7, late third quarter, and how you got some battles on your hands.
Indian River now 21-10 in front of Polytech.
And they were trailing too.
They were, yeah. And Cape has scored again, so they now have a 10-point lead on Lake with about 8:45 to go in that one, 34-24. So again, thanks to everybody for the scoring updates, and we'll get as many finals as we can for you when the game ends as we spotlight the Laurel Bulldog Marching Band.
That's right.
Just to our right.
Making the trip down, right? I guess I should say up, excuse me. But you got the band again. It's a tough trip for a lot of these guys, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're talking Laurel to come up here on a Friday, after school. But again, especially when you have to come on the road and play a team like this.
Yeah.
Here at home. And Caravel, once again, showing us why they are the undefeated state champs and why they are the top-ranked team in our Delaware Live Sports Class 2A rankings. It would be interesting that if we did a collaborative rankings.
It's right. Right.
Because and I don't want to put you on the spot, but Caravel might be up in there if you were to rank up all the teams for classes 3A, 2A, and 1A. They would be in the conversation to be in the top
personally
top portion.
Nick, I'd have them in the Class 3A Super 7.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Definitely in that conversation.
Salesiana to me right now is the top team in the state overall,
I agree.
and Sussex Central number 2. But I tell you what, these guys right here, they could be right in the middle of that Super 7.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Laurel game against Sussex. They are up 26-0 on the Bulldogs, who were tied with the Sussex Central 20-20 late in that third quarter. I know the Golden Knights did pull away, but that just kind of shows you how good this Caravel team is, and excited to see what they could do in the future, because last year we saw it. Only a few touchdowns, I believe, over the course of the entire season with that defense. So they're picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, they are. And we mentioned next Saturday, big game for them. They're up at Claymont to take on the Hawks of Archmere.
Yes,
that'll be a really good matchup next Saturday.
I know Mike Lang will be there at that one.
And we mentioned earlier, Laurel gets a bye week next week. They'll regroup, and then they have nothing but former Henlopen Division II schools from the old Henlopen South in their district in Class 2A. All right, timeout is over. First down after the penalty. Rice airs it out, over the shoulder, catches.
That is a
made.
beautiful ball.
And it comes out at the end.
Oh, my goodness. So a few things to unpack here.
Yeah.
Number one, 6 minutes to go. They are putting the ball in the air, looking for that first down. Again, they are going to keep it going and looking for his guy that he's been looking for all night, and that's Witcher.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful ball. I would like to see a replay, but a beautiful ball over the shoulder. Not sure what happened there. It was good coverage as well, but a beautiful pass that time from Matt Rice.
Yeah, the defense had him bracketed, but I tell you what, that looked like one of the passes I saw last Friday night from Desai Drummond. Over the shoulder to Josiah Rogers a couple of times.
What a combo that is over there as well. And but fourth down, no issue there. Putting the ball, you're going for the first down. Running the ball really doesn't do you any good there. Running the clock or anything like that. So totally get Coach Reed throwing the ball there on fourth down, just unable to haul it in for the touchdown. Matt Rice going for it all there.
All right, so the Bulldogs come out. They get the ball again after a long drive by Caravel. Comes up with no points. 6 minutes to go in the ball game. In the gun. Shockley looks to run. Now he's getting pressured, and he'll be sacked back inside the 20-yard line. And let's see, getting that sack is number 14, Steele, on defense.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are, a lot of the guys we're looking at are two-way players that make such an impact on both sides of the ball. As you mentioned, Steele, a few big catches on offense, some big blocks, and then making some big plays on defense. And that's why that Shockley and Laurel are stuck with the short passing game, because if they try to take a five-step drop and look for a pass deep down the field, they do not have enough time to get the ball off. And once again, we see why right there, Caravel with another sack.
Well, we talked about it, and again, coming into the game, I thought maybe this would be a 2 or 3 possession win for Caravel.
Yeah.
It was just depending on what could Laurel do offensively against this top defense.
Yeah.
They're the number 1 defense in Class 2A
Absolutely.
by far.
And you said it, by far. I don't think it's close.
All right, second down and long, second down at 16. Shockley, quick throw on the little slant pattern. It is caught with the receiver spun around immediately, and on that reception, number 21, that's Woodley Dormeville. He's a junior.
And we talked about, you mentioned the schedule the rest of the way for Laurel. You know, the good news for the Bulldogs, or if you're a Bulldog fan, is you're not going to face a defense like this the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So if your Walls and those guys, you talked about the bye week, regroup. Coach Jones is one of the best there in the state, so he's going to have them ready to go after the bye week, and I'm sure this will be a good lesson learned for the Bulldogs here the rest of the way.
Yeah, their next game will be with Woodbridge. That's October 3rd. Shockley in the gun again. Tries to run away from pressure, and he goes down for a sack inside the 15-yard line. And that time, number 52, Chukwura, on the sack. He's had a night.
They stat pad in here for this Caravel defense here late in this ball game.
Third time he's been sacked tonight. The second time by Chukwura.
Yeah, he's been, when he has dropped back and hasn't gotten rid of the ball quick, he's been running for his life back there. And the defensive and offensive fronts for Caravel, they have dominated this game in the trenches.
Oh, they have. Yep. Tate Walls back to punt. High punt. Good hang time. Fair catch called for at midfield, but a flag comes flying from the back judge. Fair catch called for by Richie Massey. But let's check the flag. Stops the clock with about 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Unofficially, we had Laurel's offense for about 40 total yards in that first half, and they really haven't added a whole lot to that. Just a dominating performance by this Caravel D.
Suffocating. I mean, just absolutely suffocating defensively. And you talked about the short passing game that we mentioned. They had a couple looks on some of these rocket screens where they could have had some yards after the catch. The big one to Burton, they did miss him once wide open down the field.
Yeah.
And then the time they did find him on the screen pass, it was stripped and taken away by Crawford and Brock Rhodes. So just not a lot of openings, not a lot of successful plays offensively for Laurel tonight. But again, you can attribute that to the Caravel defense. The offense for Laurel will be fine going forward. Walls and them, they will pick it back up after the bye week. Just a different animal here today on the road.
Well, our other free live stream, Benny Mitchell and crew, a close game early as Polytech was up 10-7. Final score, Indian River 41-17 over Polytech. They're our top team in Class 1A.
And they were trailing 13-10, I believe, in that game. What a route there on the back end.
Handoff up the middle, gaining a couple of yards. On the carry, number 26, his first carry of the game. That's Jackson Wade.
There you have it, the sophomore being announced over the loudspeakers.
So one carry for him and a couple of yards, Nick.
Special thanks, of course, to Craig Bailey, who was always so hospitable here for us when we come to Caravel, and we appreciate that as well here today.
And our Fightin' Phils have extended their lead to 10-2 over those New Yorkers.
What's the magic number now? Is it 3?
It'll be, it would be 3, I think. Handoff up the middle. That's Wade again.
Pat informing us that a win tonight will clinch the playoff spot. And then looking for that magic number to win the division.
There you go.
Don't forget, tomorrow, some matinee action here on Delaware Live Sports. We'll be bringing you Conrad and Brandywine here on the channel, 11 a.m. kickoff.
All right.
Tomorrow morning, so you can get your coffee, take the dog for a walk, come back, and watch some football before you get into college action there a little bit later on the day. And then Delaware, 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night.
The Hens taking on the Quakers.
That's right, Penn's first game of the year.
Wow. Yeah, those Ivy League teams.
Yeah, it's,
come on.
It's interesting, that's for sure.
It's like the old independent conference. They don't really start with everybody else. Handoff up the middle again. I believe that was the young man Wade. Pushed back by the interior defense of Laurel. No, that was 44 on the carry that time. And that was Michael Corin, a freshman.
Getting some quality reps here.
Adding to my stat sheet. 1 yard pickup for him.
Now ticking under 2 minutes here, and I guess we can start putting a bow on things here, Glenn. And Caravel, a fantastic performance.
Yeah, they have. And you mentioned it, Laurel has a good defense.
Yeah.
You know, they just ran up against a team that they thought was going to predominantly run, and they got bit by the play-action pass tonight. Here's the punt. 78 seconds to go. And the punt will not be returned. It's going to be down at the 48-yard line of Laurel. We got a nice
I was just
nice
about to
view
say
of the
it, Glenn.
moon, the old harvest moon out there.
Wow, that's perfect. How about that? A perfect view for us here in the press box.
Right above the Caravel home side. 67 seconds to go. This one is not in doubt. Caravel will improve to 3-0 on the season. They now have a 16-game winning streak going back to the beginning of last year. They're an impressive football team for certain. And again, they will meet the Archmere Hawks next Saturday. That's their next game. All right, Laurel Bulldogs break from the huddle. 67 seconds to go. Back to pass Shockley. He's harassed again. He gets away from a couple defenders, but they slow him up, and eventually he is sacked back at the 39. It's the 4th sack of the night.
And that might be the sophomore Micah Niblett in at quarterback. I guess trying to switch it up, get some reps for some of those younger guys here, but the result was still the same as we've seen from this Caravel defense. I mean, no matter who's in the game for the Buccaneers up front, they have just been wreaking havoc in the backfield. They've been almost unblockable.
You're right. So that's Shockley out of the game. The quarterback is now number 12, Micah Niblett.
Sophomore.
He's under center. Double wing set. Hands off up the middle. And a spin move and getting about 5 yards on the carry. Let's see who had the ball that time.
Well, Glenn, it was an honor and a privilege to be up here with you. I'm going to head down for some of these post-game festivities. I appreciate everything. And
yes, sir.
I think we're going to be with our player of the game here shortly.
Good job by you. We'll throw it down to you when we're all set.
That's right.
All
Sounds good.
There's the final gun, and our final score is 26-0. Caravel scores 2 touchdowns in the first half and 2 in the second half, and uncharacteristically 3 passing touchdowns for the victorious Buccaneers. All right, we'll be back to start the post-game show right after these messages on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Caravel Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Caravel Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Caravel Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Get the assurance that your HVAC...
All right, we're back here at Bob Peoples Stadium where the final score, the top-ranked Class 2A Caravel Buccaneers extending their winning streak to 16 games since the beginning of last season. They get a 26-0 shutout over the number 6 ranked team in our Super 7, Laurel Bulldogs. Laurel only able to manage about 65 yards of total offense against a very, very stout Caravel Academy defense. On the other hand, Caravel tonight, Josh Roy, 165 yards unofficially and a touchdown. And then Matt Rice, 3 touchdown passes, all to the tight ends for 163 unofficially for him. Matt Rice, a big game for him. He is our player of the game. We're going to have an interview with him post-game here just as soon as they break up the huddle with Nick Alessandrini, who is down on the field. Let's get you updated with some finals. Now, the Cape Lake game, that's a barn burner. Cape leads Lake 34-32 with 3 minutes left. Indian River knocked off Polytech tonight 41-17. That was Benny Mitchell's game. Charter gets a 42-0 win over Dickinson. Archmere 43-13 over Newark. We think Tatnall won, but I didn't see a final. First State Military was leading Seaford 26-13 in the second half. Middletown was leading Athelton, Maryland out of state. And Malvern Prep was up on Salesianum 20-3 after 3 quarters. And St. Mark's leads Red Lion in the fourth, 36-34. Another barn burner there. Woodbridge and Delmar were leading their games in the second half. Woodbridge had a 21-20 lead over Howard in the third. And then friends at Delmar had a lead there. And Christiana beat AI earlier. I think that was 24-0 or something like that. Anyhow, those are the scores we have, brought to you by Dover Federal Credit Union, voted an 8-time First State Favorite Credit Union. You can bank with a winner when you choose Dover Federal Credit Union. And our thanks to them. All right, next Friday night, we're going to have the air attacks of the Smyrna Eagles at the Apo Jags. It should be a great one. Pat and I will be there. I don't know whether Mike's coming with us to that one. Mike will not be. I think we're going to have Nick Alessandrini down there as well, and certainly Nick Halliday. And don't forget, the Upstate crew has a free live stream for you tomorrow. Conrad and Brandywine, 11 o'clock kickoff, I believe, yes. Yeah, and then later on tomorrow night, tune in for our Nick Alessandrini as he is on the crew up there as the University of Delaware takes on the Penn Quakers. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff. All right, making his way over to our camera and vantage point is the quarterback and our player of the game, Matt Rice, who down on the field right now is wearing our 302 DE chain award. And those guys love it. Decide Drummond had it around his neck last week. He didn't want to give it up. He wanted to take it home. Volleyball player didn't want to give it up either. All right, so Matt Rice is making his way over to our sideline camera, and our Nick Alessandrini will have him momentarily, as it was a 26-0 victory tonight for Caravel Academy. All right, let's send it down to Nick.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Now I'm joined by your Delaware Live 302 Sports player of the game. What was working for you there? I mean, quarterback here, had 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. Matt Rice, the sophomore from Caravel. So what was the game plan coming in? Obviously, in past years, it's been Caravel, a run-first team. Tonight, you were letting it fly. Was that the game plan coming in?
No, not really. We're a run-first team always. We're going to pound the ball. We're going to be physical. But, I mean, if they stop the run, then we got to air it out a little bit.
So what was working for you personally? Great vision. Had some deep touchdown passes today. The play action was very effective. Just talk a little bit about what you were seeing there on some of those plays.
Yeah, man, I think they were manned up. So we just had to take our shots with our one-on-one guys, and they got to win. And we did.
I mean, you guys have been phenomenal once again through the first 3 years. You just a sophomore, though, being in your first year as a starter. What was the offseason kind of like for you coming off of that state championship and now being the quarterback here for the Buccaneers? What was the offseason like for you, and how's the beginning of the season been going just for you as the new starter?
Yeah, I mean, as a team, we all got to come together and play as a team. And we just got to lead, have some leaders, play physical, and nobody's going to hand us nothing just because we won last year.
What are your keys for the rest of the season here for the Buccaneers as you go forward? A big-time win once again tonight. Laurel, a very tough team making the trip up, and you guys made it look easy tonight. What is the key for you guys going forward to try to go back-to-back?
I mean, be the most physical, know your assignment, do your job. And as a team, I think we're going in the right direction right now. We clean up some things, but we'll be all right.
Matt Rice, sophomore from Caravel, the quarterback, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. One last question before I let you go here on a Friday night. How's that chain feel?
Feels real nice.
Real nice. You might be wearing it maybe another time this year. Matt, really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Congratulations. Back to you guys, Glenn.
All right, thanks to Nick Alessandrini. Good job down there with the post-game interview. And Matt Rice, our player of the game. 3 touchdown passes in the ball game tonight, and it really was the difference. And he was right. They bottled up the running attack most of the time, at least the up-the-middle running plays, and that forced them to go to play action. And they just beat the secondary, the tight ends. All right. That'll wrap things up here from Bob Peoples Stadium. Our thanks once again to both coaches, John Reed and Joey Jones, also the athletic director here at Caravel, Craig Bailey. For the entire 302 Sports crew and my broadcast partner, Nick Alessandrini, I'm Glenn Frazier. Once again, the final score of this one tonight, 26-0 in favor of Caravel. Thanks for watching our free live stream on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.